On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, the Lockdown Lads talk about all of Hasbro's Fan Appreciation Day Star Wars figure reveals, as well as highlighting new figure arts and Hot Toys collectibles based on characters from The Mandalorian. They also talk about a few classic Star Wars games that are coming to or are already available for the Switch. The latest Clone Wars episode gets broken down by the dudes too, as they also speculate on what Filoni's Twitter banner art change could mean for Mando or the Clone Wars. Speaking of Mando, they riff on a pair of casting rumors for the show before lamenting another TROS book moment that should have been in the damn movie. Of course, the top 5 rounds things out, so cue the music already because this is taking way too long. Welcome back to week 3 of the COVID-19 version of the Star Wars Time Show. That's right. Matt and Nick are back. They're still around. Nick did not jump off a bridge yet.
Not yet.
Phew. See, not yet. That is the key word. But he's here. He's with us. Shit has gotten even darker for the young Jedi of the podcast here. I mean, I guess before we get into it, Nick, I mean, when we left you last week.
Yep.
You were kind of down the dumps, but there was some hope because you thought by this time your biggest concern would be, would you have internet to be able to record this week's episode of the Star Wars Time Show at your brand new house that you built yourself?
Yep.
But in just 1 week's time, Nick not only found out that he's not moving into his house yet, but he had to cancel all of his fucking services he had ready to cut over. He had to cancel the movers. He had to cancel this, that, the other thing. He's got shit shown up at his apartment that his apartment is not built to fit. And today, he finds out the new job he thought he was getting after leaving the other job that made him depressed in the first place. Well, now it is on temporary hold. So now my friend is in his apartment with mattresses that have no rooms to go in, doesn't have a job, and doesn't really know when he's going to be able to move into his house that he has paid good American money for.
Yep. That's a good summary of the last week.
So, I mean, we really can't put a fresh, positive spin on young Nick quite this week.
No, not yet. But you know what? I'm here. I'm here to bring you guys some sort of Star Wars related joy and keep you up to date on the news. Eventually, I'll have a house to live in. Eventually, I'll have a cool new job that I'm enjoying and thriving in. But those moments are not happening right now. The moments that are happening right now are the Star Wars nuggets that we're going to give you guys this week, and then maybe next week
Nick is going to be homeless within 3 weeks.
Yeah. Maybe
like
next
literally
week.
Living on the street, panhandling, and sucking dick for Star Wars news.
Yeah, if they allow me to stand on the street with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, I guess what are they doing with homeless people? Are they just rounding them up and dousing them with Lysol and shit, or are they actually shipping them off somewhere?
They're just, I don't know. I mean, Austin has a pretty... yeah,
you got a lot of bums, don't you?
A lot of homeless population here, and there's still I still see people on the street, if I'm driving to the grocery store or something like that, but I haven't really gone downtown recently, which is where they're mostly concentrated. So I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely one of those things that a lot of people aren't thinking about is how this is going to affect the homeless population in each city. So it's
I'm sure some
crazy.
people are like, well, fuck it. It's like pest control, right?
Yes. So people
clean them out. I mean, in the end, I don't know if we talked about this or I don't talk to many people these days, nor did I used to. But I am finding now, after being in the third week of a lockdown, that I'm starting to really enjoy to talk to people on the phone again. Nick, I don't know if that's happened with you, or we were just talking, video chatting or FaceTiming with people. These are all activities I despise. I hate talking on the phone. I hate video chatting. But the more and more we're kind of quarantined and just with the people we live with, the more interacting with these other humans is becoming slightly, at least for me, slightly more appealing.
Yeah, I think it's probably because you as a school teacher, like as a college professor, you have to see these snot-nosed kids most days of the week, and it just like all of your interactions are probably just like mediocre to annoying. So you're like, I've had my fill of fucking people for the next, 2 days, 3 days during the weekend. And then now you don't even get that type of interaction. You don't even have the interaction of people,
No, you're right.
that you
You're
don't
right.
like.
I mean, I'm not kidding around. I do not like the human race. I really don't. I don't like people outside of my friends and family, and pushing 40. I'll be 40 in July. Very rarely will I even accept new humans into my circle of trust. You know what I mean? Like, and by that I mean just I'll look at you and not want to kill you.
Yeah.
Okay? Because for the most part, I don't like you. I don't like people. I don't want to talk to people. But Nick's right. I mean, in the end, I still am a human, I think, at least for now. I haven't, had the balls to cut myself open and see if I've got, Terminator parts under there. But there is a part in all of us. We are a species that likes to we do have a herd mentality. And I think you're right. I do miss kind of at least leaving Star Wars Time HQ, going down the campus, sitting in my office for a bit, talking with some students, seeing this, seeing that, going out in the quad and seeing some idiot preach about something fucking stupid. So, I mean, there is that. But, I even look forward to doing the show with you more than I have. And it gives us a few hours to just kind of tune off. Not catch something popping up on our phones or someone texting us or just talking about the fucking virus.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're kind of getting back to basics. But I was making a point on this little tangent we've already started that, with the homeless people. I don't want to sound like I'm a cold piece of shit, thinking hey, it'd be nice to kind of scrub them off the face of the earth. That's not me. At least I don't want to say that out loud. But if you think about what the Earth is doing right now.
Yeah, it's literally like trying to come to an equilibrium.
Yeah.
You have 6...
This virus, you could contend, it does come from nature, right?
Yep.
This is the Earth kind of doing a little correction here. I mean, you can see it just in heat maps, pollution maps around the globe. It's like the Mother Earth is taking a fucking break and healing a little bit.
Yeah. All of the the CO2 emissions and everything like that.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've looked at any of the maps where they've done, you can see the actual CO2 from cities, this, that, the other thing. Even over China, it's improved. Waters are getting more clear. There's been ecosystems that are resurging after humans have had to retreat for. Hell, if you account for China's lockdown, almost 2.5, 3 months at this point, and it's probably not going to end anytime soon. This could be nature just kind of balancing things out, kind of like the Force likes to do every now and then, every trilogy.
Reminding us that we only live on this planet, and
Exactly.
This planet can fight back if it wants to.
It's great. Kind of visual proof that when you don't believe in science and you ignore shit, surprise, look what can happen.
Yeah.
When you're not ready for this type of shit. I mean, look how fucked up our day today is in America. We are so fucking spoiled and used to just all these luxuries and everything being at our fingertips. And 3 weeks in, we're already starting to go fuck, it's the end of the world. We're all going to fucking die. I can't self-quarantine. I need to go out. Me. Fuck everyone else. When if we all just stay home for another 6 to 8 weeks, we could probably get through this without it completely destroying the United States. But you never know. That's America, right? We still got the South down there. Literally, governors of the South boasting we're not gonna fucking stay home. It's we're fucking tough. We're America. It's just my God.
Yeah, that's the most disturbing part.
I forget. It's the governor of Alabama is literally we're Alabamians. It's well, yeah, that's great. What the fuck does that mean against a virus that literally spreads like wildfire. I mean, what does that fucking mean?
Oh man, it's
Right,
a dark time. It's a dark time in the United States.
Let's move on from the dark times. Let's get into the Star Wars time, because there's always time for Star Wars time, not this fucking virus.
There we go.
But anyways, hey, we're humans. We had to kind of air our grievances about it being locked up. So here we go. All right, dude. Apparently today, well, the day we're recording, which would be 3/31/20, is it's Hasbro's Fan Appreciation Day, which meant that we got a bunch of new reveals. Some of the figures you can actually pre-order right now. We got links for you, all that fun stuff Nick will have in the post shell for this episode. But some of the reveals were pretty big. So I'm going to start with the ones that really kind of stand out to me. And those are Black Series, so 6-inch. Mm-hmm. Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader.
There we go.
Clearly, that's always going to get my nipples hard. We got the Black Series Teebo. All right, this is the gray and black striped dude from Return of the Jedi Ewoks.
Yep.
Ants will go. A turn meter champion if you played that game. And what everyone's been looking for, the full Beskar Mandalorian.
Full
So
Beskar Mando is making some waves the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and either in Hot Toys scale and Figuarts scale or line. We'll be talking about that later. But finally, Hasbro, the one we've all been looking for, because we knew, hey, it was only a matter of time. We just wanted to know what it was going to look like. And, hey, for $20, he is looking pretty good. Of course, you're not going to get the cloth cape like you'd like to see, but there's people out there on eBay, there's people on Instagram, trust me. There are so many talented customizers and accessory makers. You can get yourself a soft goods cape for this figure. But all these, Nick, looking pretty good. Retailing for $20 with street dates of the fall.
Yeah.
That's about all we got. You can't even pre-order any of these three quite yet, but all looking great. I mean, that Teebo, especially.
I know. The Teebo looks so realistic, like, you know.
A little face. It's creepy as fuck.
It is, man. It does look exactly like, you know, like if you look at this figure, you can just picture the little Ewok from Return of the Jedi. And, I mean, even the Mando, I mean, of course, we've seen fantastic Mando figures from Hot Toys. We talked about that last week. But even this $20 Black Series Hasbro figure looks absolutely fantastic. So, you know, it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing in the toy pick community when you guys pick it up, whenever it comes out. I mean, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, that's the other thing, man. Like, we're all still pretending, and even Hasbro is, that, oh yeah, we're gonna hit all these dates. It's like, well, who the fuck? Who are in the factories making these things? Who are in the factories of the raw materials to make these fucking things? Like, what about the logistics, the distro channels?
Dude,
are we really going to get these in the fall if shit continues through the summer? I mean,
yeah.
Some of us, I mean, you know me, I'm glass half empty, so I'm already planning for death and the end of the world. My biggest fuck up is not having enough weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I am almost always glass half full, but after this last run of luck that I've had, it's hard.
Pretty soon, we're going to have to pay another artist to fix our logo, and it's just going to be two dueling cis, you know, like Malik and Revan. Yeah, you are. This shit's going to, like, suck the life out of you. You're going to pull a Ben Solo and become Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you this. If April 10th rolls around, which is my new tentative close date on my house, if that rolls around and we can't close, I may go full Darth Revan.
He's gonna start. He's at least gonna start hooking for cash. Anything.
But yeah, I mean, these figures are beautiful things. I can't wait to see if they come out, when they come out, and when they do come out, how the toy pick community picks them up.
Yeah, the fall, man. They'll be out in the fall. No worries. This economic downturn is only going to be a minor bump in the road.
Indeed.
Something like that. So anyways, Hasbro was not done. They also revealed 4 other figures. 2 of them are of this new Carbonized movement that kind of started with some of the figures that released at the end of 2019, like the Mandalorian, some figures from TROS. But today, Nick, we got shots and pre-order information for Carbonized Boba Fett and a Carbonized Stormtrooper, as well as information glamour shots for a vintage collection. So those would be the 3 3/4 inch figures. Commander Wolf of Clone Wars fame and K2SO are being added to that line. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
These Carbonizer things are interesting.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. and clearly, I jumped all over them when they released 2019 because it was new. I mean, Hasbro never did it before. Everyone's like, oh wow, look, the boxes are different, they're shiny. Whenever collectors see a shiny box, we're like, cats with catnip, we're like for some reason collectors really get hard-ons for boxes. I guess I used to too. I don't as much as I used to. I've gotten good at just throwing those fucking things out, especially now with COVID. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, no boxes.
Right? Anything I can get rid of that's come from the outside at this point, I'm throwing it right out of my front door. You should see my house the day before recycling day. I mean, it looks like a fucking trash dump. It's like Amazon. If I can, I let it sit for 24. If not, I bring it in. Anywhere I touch the box, I sanitize my hand, then throw that box right the fuck out into my front yard.
Yeah, safe.
But anyways, these fucking Carbonized deals. Matt, a year ago, probably would have already had his pre-orders in for these $24.99 figures that are at least Boba Fett and the Stormtrooper are looking to drop this June, I bet. But I've held off so far, my friend, and that is a lot of restraint for someone like myself. Because like you said, these are interesting, but it's the way you said interesting, as in these are probably fucking stupid, right?
Isn't
looks
that like
what you were kind of hinting at.
The Boba Fett one to me looks worse than the Stormtrooper one. And
okay, good. So yes, I know you have taste then in your figures, right? Because you're 100% correct. To me, the Boba Fett one looks dumb as shit, just like my Mandalorian fucking Carbonized looks dumb as shit.
It just looks like he's wearing like an aluminum suit, like aluminum foil. Like I don't know, dude. It just does not look good.
It's like Boba Fett went to Walmart and bought himself a Boba Fett costume for Halloween.
That's a perfect
what I mean?
way to put it. Yeah, that's perfect. And then,
but at least the Stormtrooper, you could argue. It's almost like a Phasma style trooper.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like it doesn't have the chrome pop of Phasma, but it does have like a sheen to it, a shine to it. And I do like how the side vents on the helmet are blue. That's a little bit of a...
Yeah, and the more I look at this one, I might have to get this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun flair that it's added to the Stormtrooper, but, like, Boba Fett just looks dumb as fuck.
I agree. It looks really stupid. Like, just so dull. And that's weird for a shiny figure, but he doesn't look right.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. But
it's like just someone sprayed sheen all over him. I don't know.
Yeah,
something's off.
It looks like somebody
fuck you, Carbonized Boba Fett. I hate you.
It's like a can of that really like gaudy spray paint. Like it's just
yeah, like chrome it up.
Yeah,
like you can't afford real chrome wheels, so you get the paint.
Yeah,
that's what he did. And you know what? That makes sense for Boba Fett, especially Return of the Jedi busted ass chump Fett.
Yeah,
he would be someone to buy that cheap ass paint instead of like actually get the real thing. So
I could see his ship painted that way too. That'd be hilarious. If it came with a Carbonized Slave 1, that would be just amazing.
Right. So like I said earlier, the Carbonized figures are going to run you $24.99. You can pre-order them right now through Entertainment Earth. We have links for you on StarWarsTime.net. The vintage collection, which again is K2SO and Commander Wolf, those are going for $13.99. Those are also live and ready for pre-order with an August ship date. And we just wanted to do one more thing for Black Series. We got a PSA. I think it was last week we talked about the Black Series Stormtrooper Commander figure 2 weeks ago. This is one of those where, thank you, it was a gaming grate.
Yep.
So it was going to be at GameStop or EB Games. Well, we finally have the pre-order details. We got a link for you. He is up now at GameStop for $24.99.
If GameStop is still open as a company after this.
Yes, and he's not fucking around because I think they just closed, was it 300 stores? And that's not for the virus. That's just they fucking closed stores.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I put my pre-order in. Why the fuck not? We'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll lose my money to bankruptcy, but hey, at least I can not have FOMO over this Commander figure.
Yep. All right.
New line. Well, we're not done with figures yet, especially the 112 scale variety, because was it today? It seems like SH Figuarts wanted to get the jump on Hasbro's Fan Appreciation Day, so they unveiled the full Glamour Shot set for their full Beskar Mandalorian. I guess we should just call him Din at this point.
Yeah.
And even better, they unveiled their child figure.
Yep, Baby Yoda. I will say,
I'm just realizing now that I didn't include in the fucking gallery like an idiot. But
I see if you scroll down a little bit, they have the Baby Yoda ones.
Yeah, but didn't I was looking like on our post. I thought I actually like included the images like someone would do if you wanted to share an article about figures that got new images. But you know that. Oh, there we go. They loaded.
That's what I said. It's at the bottom. It's just the internet.
That's just
also,
Jesus Christ, it's this fucking shitty-ass Star Wars Time.net server these days.
Just the internet in general has been a struggle recently. I mean, you have everybody.
Oh, dude, yesterday, like, I was just, Charlie and I were doing our kind of late day iPad hanging out on the couch, and I was watching Westworld. Fucking love that show.
Yep.
But yeah, the internet just completely fucking shit itself for about 5-10 minutes, and then it was like, okay, we'll work again.
Yeah, ours clipped out probably an hour ago, maybe a little less than an hour ago, and then it came back a few minutes later. But it's just everybody sitting at home and just on the internet, everybody's gonna struggle now. But
yeah, but anyways, this guy. Yeah. So we got full Beskar Mando Din and a 112 scale child, and dude, they just look absolutely fantastic.
What I will say is the child figure to me, like, I don't know if this is just the figure that they use to photograph, but like his eyes look weird. Like his eyes look crusty.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
You are not wrong. And this is, I don't know if it's because Figuarts are, they're made over in Asia, but they usually do kind of anime-ish sometimes style the face a bit.
Okay.
But I'm with you. The face does look off with the eye shots, but the motherfucker is in a soft goods little potato sack, so I'm still getting them.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I'm getting both of these. I mean, I think the full Beskar Mando looks absolutely stunning.
Oh, yes.
In the Figuarts version. I mean, I think the Black Series looked pretty good too, but this guy looks great, most notably because they gave him a fucking soft goods cape, which Figuarts never does, so that's a nice touch. But me and Figuarts, I don't know, we got an issue after last week. I'll bring this up during the top 5 segment, but I don't know, man. I just had one of the worst experiences of my life with a Star Wars Figuarts figure last week, so much so that at one point in time I thought I completely destroyed an $80 figure in anger.
No.
But I've salvaged parts of it, so it's not quite fully destroyed.
So here we go. A tease for the top 5 upcoming. Get ready for it.
Yeah, it was a good story. I mean, it was like it was vintage. Just I am nuts and should not be around people. But I think other toy photographers will relate.
Okay.
As well. So yeah, that's coming up. That's the tease for the top 5 segment. But anyways, these figure art boys. So the Din, the full Beskar, he's probably gonna be around $75-$80 depending where you get him from. I have not seen him pop up on any of my foreign sites, which are Ami, Nin Game, Bandai Online. The Yoda gonna be a little bit cheaper, $35. Same sites, haven't seen him pop up. A lot of times BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store here in the States, gets these as well. So we'll be updating the post, and check your socials when those pre-order links go live. But guess what? We're not done with new toys yet.
So many.
We're not done.
They're trying to suck all of your free money out of you.
I know. It's like they're like, hey, we got them all in front of their computers and their phones all day long now, so even more so than when they're at work. Let's start hitting them with pre-orders. And that's exactly what Hot Toys did to me. In true fashion, just like last week, how I was lamenting the fact that they unveiled their 1/6 scale Mando and Baby Deluxe set right after Nick and I recorded. Well, in true Hot Toys fashion, they must sense through the force when we stop recording, when we hit end, because they unveiled their life-size Baby Yoda, a.k.a. the child. That's what everyone's calling him now. But they revealed their life-size Baby Yoda, Nick, and
this thing looks incredible.
As I feared, it's 10 times better than the Sideshow version.
Like
10 times. The one I've already pre-ordered, and I have a story on that now too.
Oh, I mean, like this is the most this is the most realistic figure toy I've ever seen in my life. Like, I know that like Baby Yoda is not a human; he is an alien, so it's easy to kind of fudge details, and it's you know, it's harder to make a real human look alike. This thing looks like it was on the set of The Mandalorian. Like, it doesn't even look like it's you know, just a toy.
and you know, we talked about Sideshow's their own life-size child figure, which, you know, I pre-ordered immediately. I was like, oh, $350, let's do it. But you remember we were talking like, oh, it looks like it's kind of static. I don't know if you can move the ball and whatnot. And I kept saying, man, I wish Hot Toys. And I kept saying that is because of this. This is what Hot Toys does. They are the best at movie quality, movie realization, whatever you want to call it. So immediately, dude, I'm sitting there like, fuck. I've already done the NRD on the Sideshow Yoda, which is like $40, $50. I've already made one of the payments because I always do payment plans for these figures. Why not? It's not like they charge you insurance. You can just spread it out over months versus, oh, hey, here's $450 for Baby Yoda right here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sitting here like, fuck, I got to stop doing this shit because I've been conditioned over the years a lot with Funko when I was into that, and the Funkos and exclusive Funko Pops, and, you know, hey, shit's going live at 12 a.m. Pacific time. You got to get it right away. And like, bam, bam, bam. If you're not there right when it goes live, you're going to miss it. So I'm conditioned for that. And that happens a bit with the figures too. But I've got to understand that is not the case with high-end $200, $300, $400, $500 figures.
Yeah.
Just because one gets revealed, Nick, doesn't mean it's going to be fucking pre-order sold out by the next day. So I need to start just fucking cooling my jets, taking a deep breath, and letting these reveals stew for a bit. Because now I have almost $1,000 in the life-size Baby Yoda figures pre-ordered.
Oh, man. I mean,
because this one's $410, buddy, because, I mean, he's got hands you can change,
ears.
props, ears you can change.
Yeah.
The other one was $350, but luckily, and I'll kind of end this story here, and this guy is available for pre-order now through Sideshow for $410. This is Hot Toys life-size Baby Yoda, the definitive life-size Baby Yoda, in my opinion. But luckily, I hit up Sideshow. It was like, listen, people, is there any way you can help a crazy collector out here? Can you just give me my NRD back on this one? I fucked up. This is clearly better. I fucked up. I didn't have the patience. I love you all, but I think Hot Toys is better than your own figure. So what can we do? And luckily they came back. They're like, hey, man, yeah, you got your rewards back. We refunded your NRD, and of course the payment will be refunded too. So
wow, that was
I
nice.
have effectively canceled my Sideshow life-size The Child, but I do have a new Hot Toys life-size Child pre-ordered.
Oh, man, I mean, it's definitely the right move to switch to the Hot Toys one, and it was very nice of Sideshow to let you do that, knowing that you were going to be spending this money on not really a competitor, but like another line of the same exact toy.
Oh yeah.
So,
and I consider keeping them both because I don't know what's happened recently. I don't know if it's because she's been locked up and she's getting bored, and I may let her on her iPad for an hour and a half, 2 hours straight sometimes, and who knows what type of Chinese and Russia programming she's getting from YouTube Kids. But literally, I'd say every day, Charlie's like saying, "Hey, Dad, I really want a baby Yoda. I really want a baby Yoda. I really want a baby Yoda." And I'm like, "Fuck, should I just keep both life size and give her the $350 one?"
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you don't give a fucking 4-year-old a $350 life size collectible. I mean, at this point, the Legos I'm building for her, I'm regretting because she either plays so hard with them or she's still young and doesn't get that certain bricks don't bend certain ways.
Yeah.
That the motherfucker, like today, I had to spend 25 minutes rebuilding parts of the Millennium Falcon that she Godzilla'd. No, I was like, no, I'm just canceling it. So one life-size Baby Yoda due at the Haywood Pop household.
At some point in the future.
On top of multiple plushies and animatronics and 1/6 scale and 1/12 scale and all the other shit.
The plushies are perfect for Charlie.
Exactly.
She can use those.
And I think Hasbro, they're doing a $65 animatronic that might work as well, but no way I'm giving my kid one of these bad boys. So
no, $350 toy.
Yeah, $350, and this Hot Toys one is $410. So we got the pre-order links for you. He's up there if you're like me and you want to invest heavily into figures you'll probably never see because we'll all be killing each other for peaches in the next 4 months.
All right.
Last one of kind of like just, like new shit to waste money on during a pandemic if you're a Star Wars fan segment. And that's kind of surprise news that Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which just a fantastic name, by the way.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's called. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Not Pod
is coming
Racer.
to the Switch in addition to Jedi Academy released for it last week.
Yeah. So first up for me, the thing that really grabbed my attention here was Jedi Academy because that was the first. Let me see. Let me make sure this is right. I'm pretty sure that this was the first Star Wars game that I've just really, really got into and played.
Yeah, this is Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, and I believe it was the one to have that multiplayer where you could get in and circle jerk with a bunch of people with your lightsabers.
Oh yeah, it had the multiplayer. It was essentially
So this is the second one to come out for Switch and PS4. The other one was the Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, that was Jedi Outcast, which is interesting because technically Jedi Outcast is the second game in this series, and Jedi Academy is the first, I believe.
Have you downloaded any of these yet, Nick, or
I have
been hanging back saving money for food?
I have not. I have not downloaded any of these yet because mostly because I have these motherfuckers on Steam. I'm pretty sure that I have Jedi Academy and Jedi.
Oh, I do too, but I'll never fucking sit down and play at my computer knowing that I could do it right on the Switch.
Yeah, so it is alluring to know that it's on the Switch because it is such an accessible platform. But the one that may get me is Academy because I just love that game so much. There's not a lot of variety in the story. There are different types of things. You can play dark side or light side, but it doesn't really affect the storyline. You can play with a single lightsaber or double lightsabers or dual bladed lightsabers. I played through the game every possible way that you could. I'm pretty sure I beat the game 5 or 6 times. So this one is really it's close. Oh man, should I get this? Because it seems fun, but probably not because I already have it. And then the Pod Racer game, I actually never played the Pod Racer game on N64. So this one is actually if it's cheap and maybe I'll pick it up, but who knows? There's no announced date for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer yet.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I never played this either. I mean, this would have been 99-ish, 2000 type of year. So I was
late 90s for sure.
Dumb fucking college at that point, just more concerned about, that type of stuff.
1999, May 18th, 1999. So you were...
Oh, yeah. So it came out right with the fucking movie then.
Yeah.
This is like a launch title, basically. But I have, when this announcement was made, there was a lot of positive buzz, like, oh, fuck yeah, man, I remember that game. It's fucking awesome, blah, 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 and I don't know, there seemed to be a lot of warm, nostalgic feelings for it, which means it probably still sucks. And, we all just forget that games kind of did blow back then, especially after you've been used to playing games now.
Dude, it's
I mean, I'm still trying to trudge my way through KOTOR on the iPad, even now with an Xbox One controller on my TV. Like, I just have my iPad Air playing I still, like, it's fun for a little bit, but then you're like, yeah, this game's fucking old.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is particularly with Racer, in the 90s, this is when 3D games first really came out.
Everything's a polygon still.
Yeah,
everything's so angular.
Yeah, everything looks like shit. It probably handles like shit. So I haven't played it, but you have to keep that. These aren't remastered versions. This isn't like they went in and rebuilt Episode 1 Racer and they're re-releasing it in full HD.
No. They upped the resolution a bit.
Yeah.
That's it. They're not remaking dick.
Yeah, this is the original version, probably, like you said, Matt, like up-res to like 720 or maybe 1080.
Oh yeah.
So...
And it might load faster. I'll give you that. I mean, KOTOR on iPad loads lickety split.
Oh yeah, like when I was playing it like regularly on my PC, the shit would load so fast. I mean, but that's to be expected. It's a game that came out that was 2004. So of course, 16 years later, the motherfucker's gonna load fast.
Well, yeah, it's file. I mean, the whole game size is probably 100 megs or something stupid.
Yeah, something tiny. So
while we're talking about old Star Wars games, racing games, did you ever play Star Wars Super Bombad Racing?
No, I remember you mentioning this to me multiple times. I've never played it. Oh my!
It's a real thing. I know it's real, but it was kind of like a Star Wars style Mario Kart, and it wasn't as balanced, and the controls weren't as great. But I'll tell you what, for a fucking Star Wars skin Mario Kart, when it came out at that time, I was in college, living with other dudes, drinking nights, having races and whatnot. It was a fun fucking game.
I'm looking at it now, like.
Yeah, they all have like big heads and shit,
PS2,
right?
Super Bombad Racer. Everybody's got it. It's literally like Star Wars Mario Kart.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't half bad. Like, I mean, it had shortcuts on levels. Everyone had like a special power. There were other pickups. It never felt as tight as a Mario Kart. But for a Star Wars fan, it was pretty fucking excellent, at least back then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it, it's like the primary character that they keep showing is like you can play as Darth Maul, you can play as Sebulba. It looks like Boba Fett's in there. You got, what you call it, the Gungan chief. He's in there.
Yeah, Boss Nass.
Yeah, Boss Nass is in there.
Yeah, everyone is like their big head, and then their vehicle would represent their vehicle. Like I think Maul was in his ship,
and, like the actual scimitar ship that you would play.
Yeah, I know. I still have that game somewhere in my house. I just don't feel like finding it because I don't have a PS2.
Dude, it's hilarious too because if you look at the model for Yoda, it's modeled after the Episode 1 Yoda puppet. So. It looks even worse.
The janky looking like cracked out meth Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I could fucking play this because I have one of the original PS3s that could play
backwards
PS1
compatible.
and PS2s.
Dude, I had one of those, and Mass Effect 3 killed it. Oh, that was it.
Really?
Yeah. I was in the middle of playing Mass Effect 3, and the whole system just shut down, and it never turned back on.
Wow.
That's
like I've tried to keep consoles now just for nostalgic sake at this point.
Yeah.
But the one I can't get, I can't get my PS2 back. Like I don't even know what the fuck I ever did with that.
I did
find some PS1s. Like my dad found a couple. I'm like, that's fine. I just wanted to have to look at.
Yeah.
I got my Genesis still. I got my NES.
See, dude,
I got my OG Xbox, my 360, my OG PS3.
Like it kills me because like I have my old I'm pretty sure that my parents didn't throw it away.
You had a Dreamcast?
Yeah, I have my Dreamcast at home. I'm pretty sure they didn't throw it away. They may have.
Oh no, dude, that's like one of the greatest, stupidest consoles ever.
I know. I loved it too. I fucking played a ton of shit on that.
Hell yeah, Virtua Fighter, man.
Virtua Fighter. I played what was it? Grandia 2. I played all the NFL 2K games on that.
Yeah.
Like it was a fun console. But like I know that like the OG Xbox was my brother's, so I'm pretty sure that they got rid of that. I gave my PS2 to my friend, and I had a PS2 that I ripped the top off of it and I modded it so I could play burned games. So I could like download games from the internet and burn them on a CD and play it.
Oh,
dude,
nice.
All that shit. Like my original PlayStation is gone. The original NES we had, I have no idea where that is. I had SNES, NES, you know, I'm pretty sure we still have our Nintendo 64, but like all this shit, like all those nostalgic things, most of them are gone. But yeah, man.
Not me. I was trained from a young age, and it's why I'm a collector to this day. Keep everything. Keep it all. You never know who may want to pay you lots of money for it later on in life.
I
It's
know.
like, Dad, nobody, buddy.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Like I still do it too, because like Taylor will eventually, like, I have this habit of like if I buy something for some reason, I keep the box. So like even if I'm using it, even if it's like this mouse that I'm using right now, like
Oh yeah.
I had the box.
No, I had a real issue with that, but
Yeah.
when you have almost 700 Funko Pops, you have to start making life decisions at that point.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to pay for storage to save these fucking boxes?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to fucking throw them out and get over it? And that's... But I'm like you, too. If I buy a TV, keep the box.
Yeah.
Okay, if I buy a fucking computer, keep the box. Keep the box, until you have a whole room full of fucking boxes,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, fuck it, and you take it out to the side of the street.
Yeah. When we moved from our last apartment to the one we're in now, like I literally, like my closet, like we shared a closet, and then like on the top of it where we had our show, it was just like all random ass boxes. She's like, do you use this for anything? I was like, not really. But
You never know. I might have to return it,
Yeah.
but you need the receipt, and it's usually only like 30 days. You never know.
it's like, you know what? We just hold on to it for some reason. But yeah,
yeah.
fucking,
No,
I'm
I
a
get it.
psycho.
I get it.
But
It's a fucking sickness.
it is, dude. But these games for Switch, if you're sitting around in quarantine and you have a few dollars to drop, then just go ahead and drop them on some Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. It's a fantastic, really fucking fun game.
Oh, yeah. The only reason I have yet to do it myself is because I haven't beaten KOTOR for iPad yet, and I refuse to. I'm like, dude, you already bought one old Star Wars game. Beat it.
Yeah, beat it before.
Then get the next one. And by the way, you have a backlog of fucking PS4 and Xbox One games that you could probably dive into right now. It's a perfect time. I still can't bring myself to do it. I
Same.
think I am broken as a gamer.
Yeah, that's kind of the situation that I'm in now. Is like,
I can't do it anymore. I'd rather fucking waste my life watching Tiger King shit, fucking around with my iPad, or playing on my phone and then passing out on my couch.
yeah, that sounds
It's
about
sad.
right.
I hate it. Like, I miss being a diehard. I can't wait to play a fucking video game today. Like, oh man, I can't turn it off. I got to go to bed. I got to get up for work, but I can't turn this game off. I haven't had that in a long time, and it sucks, and I hate myself.
Yeah.
But I digress. Moving back to Star Wars land, where all fans love each other and agree. At least on the Clone Wars.
Yes.
A little bit, I think. Although I know there's a lot of fans that hate the fucking Martez sisters and just want Ahsoka to be back with the Jedis, but whatever. It ain't going to happen, at least not for another episode or two. But we're here to break down the most recent episode of the Clone Wars, which was S7E6, a.k.a. Deal No Deal. And, you know, before we get into the Easter eggs, I guess off the top, Nick, not my favorite episode, but I could totally see why it took place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's one of those episodes that's a setup. I mean, we were hoping that since this is the last season of the Clone Wars, we wouldn't have some of these like in between episodes where you just have to get through like a section of essentially exposition to get to the cool shit that happens after it. That's what this episode is. It's a lot of like, talking between Rafa and Ahsoka, and a lot of tension building between those two characters in particular. So it wasn't the best in terms of the episodes so far.
It was my least favorite of the season, but I mean, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm not like some people just like, oh, fucking stupid. Like that's what it sounds like to me now in the comment section for most things Star Wars. It just turns into like no one's intelligent anymore.
No, that
so like, yeah, was it entertaining? Was it exciting? Not really. But I think it was done in a way to, as Nick said, to set up the beef between Rafa and Ahsoka, as well as the friendship between Trace and Ahsoka, and the sister bond between the two sisters.
Yeah.
But it was also to, I mean, obviously we'll talk about the moment of the episode. That was amazing. But I think it was, again, to kind of loop into the big picture here, the Star Wars crime syndicates. We needed to get these guys and girls and shady characters back onto the map, back onto the table, back into these final few narratives to remind everyone what Maul, he's no longer Darth Maul.
Yep.
What Maul's been up to. So by having the sisters and Ahsoka get captured by the Pikes, who we know are in the Shadow Collective, which we know is led by I did it again. You idiot!
By Just Maul. Yeah.
By Just Maul, with Death Watch from Mandalore. It's just like I said, kind of in my recap and review. We were moving the pieces into position. For the most part, next week will be the final episode before we're fully into, all right, yeah, Maul, we need the Jedi, let's go, Siege of Mandalore, here we come.
Yep, 100%. And, it did provide some cool context. Like, Trace essentially built a starship herself. Like, she salvaged it and she got it up and running, and all of that stuff that she did to get her starship, the Silver Angel, up. And
it had some good stuff. Like, I guess we could run through the eggs real quick. I mean, you got to love, again, Ahsoka throwing out the Skywalker Easter eggs with Skywalker Academy.
Skywalker Academy, yeah, that was a good one.
Just her attachment to Anakin really played into the episode and possibly the season's best moment coming up here that I'm sure we'll talk about. There was a pit droid in the Martez hangar.
Not a surprise.
Wolf Yularen, I don't know. I mean, he started in Clone Wars, but technically he started in A New Hope.
Yeah.
He's the ISB agent sitting around the big table where Vader's choking motherfuckers out.
Yep, Yularen makes his way into the Thrawn books as well too. So he's in. I mean, he's character.
I believe started well. You always got to wonder. I mean, we do have these chicken and egg scenarios now, thanks to Filoni and George with these animated series. So, I mean, did Yularen really start in A New Hope? Or did they kind of backfill that, like the whole Rex was at the Battle of Endor thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, was Yularen even a name before Filoni gave him a name? Exactly.
And I love it all. I'm great that they go back and kind of backtrack this shit, but, what came first? So either way, I believe Yularen was created for Clone Wars.
Yep.
He was Anakin's first kind of... That's who Anakin got assigned to in terms of the Republic Navy, was Yularen, and they kind of hated each other a little bit. But then he goes on and Rebels, becomes big in the ISB, and then obviously makes it onto the Death Star and gets blasted there. So that was kind of cool. I mean, obviously Kessel and all things Kessley, like I say. The spice running cargo dump.
Yes.
I put that there because to me that's a reference, if not an egg, because that is a direct nod to what gets Han Solo and Chewbacca infamous in the galaxy with bounty hunters, because Jabba the Hutt puts that bounty on him because he dumped spice running cargo for the Hutts.
Yeah, that is exactly what put him in the situation that he was in to get, frozen in carbonite and captured by Jabba the Hutt, and even just being on Tatooine at that time to meet Luke and Obi-Wan, like all of that came around because of this decision he made to to dump his shipment of spice that he was running for Jabba. And
right. So we got to see exactly what that would have looked like. And it was, I thought it was a great nod. And again, just vintage Dave Filoni's fingerprints are all over this type of stuff. And it dumbfounds me that he is not running all things Lucasfilm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whenever Kathleen decides to step away from Lucasfilm, her natural successor is Dave Filoni.
Yeah, well maybe she doesn't even have to decide. Let's just, at this point, let's try something different.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think we've all kind of agreed that the new films, in a silo, each one, they're pretty good, right?
As a cohesive narrative, not so much.
No, it's not good at all. And I hate to even say this, but the prequel has a clear trilogy arc than these films.
Yeah, like the through line.
Like the prequel, that's a clear story. It's just, it may not be executed too well, but it's, hey, this is a fucking slave boy that became Darth Vader. Okay. This one's like, all right, whatever. So, like I'm saying, like, hey, Kathy, thanks for everything, but let's just try this guy, the Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Rebels. Need we say more? But anyway, so that was a cool moment. And then finally, we get the Pike Crime Syndicate. They were featured live action in Solo for the first time, but they've also been featured in the Clone Wars. So, we've been saying the episode wasn't great. It's still fucking the Clone Wars. It's still Star Wars storytelling. So I did enjoy it. There were some really good moments. The Skywalker Academy we've already talked about in the egg, but the one I want to get to with Nick here is the sensing of each other.
Yes.
Right? So Trace doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's never piloted a starship. She can build one, impressive, but who knows if she can fly one. She also almost killed him in hyperspace by leaving air brakes on.
Air
right?
brakes on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so anyways, while she's fucked up and she's in a military lane of traffic to get off planet, Yularen is like, what the fuck? Hey, get the fuck out of here. And he was about ready to send some ships after him to arrest them, per se. And we get this moment that's to me, and people have yelled at me on YouTube, and I agree with them because I think I corrected it in my recap and review video, but this moment definitely should have been in the Easter eggs and references video, because when you think about it, Nick, it's a clear nod, if not a mere scene, to Return of the Jedi when the rebels are trying to land on Endor. I mean, They steal a ship.
Yep.
The codes are good, but things are a little fishy. Vader's sensing things out. He senses it's Luke. He's like, all right, good. This is going to play into my hands anyways. Let him go.
Yeah, let him pass. Exactly.
Same thing kind of happens here where, obviously Anakin's not Vader yet, so he's not doing it for malicious purposes. But he clearly, as she does him, they sense each other. And it's a touching moment. It's an awesome moment. It once again shows you how important the Clone Wars series is to the prequel era, how well done it treats, or how well done Anakin is, and of course how important Ahsoka is to everything, and why she's allowed to get the Luke Skywalker theme.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something that we talked about last week, is that she gets the Luke Skywalker treatment in this series, given the theme from the first time that we saw her, and now she fills the role of Luke Skywalker in this scene. Like you said, the mirror scene from Return of the Jedi.
I mean, if you want to get deep, she's essentially Anakin's only kid, someone that he actually had a direct hand in upbringing and shaped.
Yeah, he is Anakin
Skywalker. He did nothing for Luke and Leia, right? Besides...
Yeah, she's Anakin Skywalker's actual adopted daughter, whereas
right. I mean, I guess you could do the whole sister thing.
Yeah.
Either or, they are family for the most part.
And yeah, I mean, he never, Darth Vader is the father of Luke and Leia, not really Anakin Skywalker at that point. Once he made that shift and he became Vader and never interacted with those children ever again. You can't really say that he
Yeah, he's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
He's a scumbag. I mean, he didn't even send them fucking back pay or anything.
Yeah,
so
nothing.
But here, he had a clear bond and love, dare I say, for Ahsoka, like a familial love, sister, daughter, whatever. But that moment was fantastic, not only for how it mirrored Vader and Luke in the future, but just it reminded us all of the strength of the bond between these two, and how much they are both affected by what the Jedi did to her.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, yeah, this episode.
The spice dump was my other top, and then the other one, obviously, I like seeing Ahsoka do the mind trick. But that was not a lot happened this episode. This was all to just kind of get them mixed up with the Pikes, which is how Maul's going to come back in and either find out about Ahsoka, or Ahsoka's going to find out about his involvement with the Shadow Collective and what he's doing on Mandalore. And that's how we're going to get tied back into the Jedi and Rex. And there they go. Rock and roll. We did get a preview of next week. And again, it's I think the next episode is going to be more maneuvering, if you will, Nick. It's this one's called Dangerous Debt. Clearly, they're all going to be arrested. From the synopsis, though, it does sound like they make an escape, but I'm assuming only Ahsoka is going to remain free. And then that's going to play into the 2 weeks from now, which is the one where I think we're going to get at least a mention of Maul, if not a Maul appearance, which leads into, hey, Jedi.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where we're going after this. So get ready for another episode next week. It looks like you're starting off, at the very least, in confinement. You see Rafa get thrown into a cell after an interrogation, and then they pull Trace right out after her. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they do get out. I assume it's going to be some Jedi maneuverings from Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah, it has to be. And like I said, I think they all three get out, but just based on the synopsis for next week, the episode after this one, which would be, 8?
Yeah.
Something like that.
7 would be, 7's the next one, and then so 8 would be the one where if we do finally get the introduction of the Jedi back to Ahsoka, it would be episode 8.
Yeah, it's just the way it sets it up, though. It's like Ahsoka is free, but she's still trying to save the Martez sisters. So that's what I was saying. So I think they are all going to break out in this week's episode coming up, but only our former Jedi will remain free. So good stuff, man. I love the Clone Wars. Been digging this final season, and like we said last week, we're essentially in the middle now of the first part of a 2-part movie to end the franchise, or not the franchise, the series.
The series,
So, we're 2 episodes into the first 4-part movie, and then after that, that's the one where Whitwer's like, "Yo, this is
the best,
best, the best Clone Wars story you're going to get."
Yeah.
We're not technically done with Clone Wars yet. We kind of have a potential merging of Filoni worked on shows, right? Because we still, I mean, in the end, The Mandalorian is Favreau's. He's the one that created it, came up with the idea. I don't know how much he used Filoni to flesh it out, but John is the one that kind of cooked it up and pitched it. But clearly we know where he's getting all the excellence.
The deep cuts probably come from
exactly.
Dave,
So anyways, over the weekend, this kind of popped up, and my fat ass even did some work on a Sunday. I rolled out a video only to soon find out that I may have got fooled, but maybe not. So anyways, Filoni, he's got this concept art of an older Ahsoka wearing kind of the hood we saw her in at the end of Rebels. And it looks like a clone behind her, more than likely Rex. He's got a beard, bald. We know he survives as well.
Yep.
So anyways, Filoni throws it back into his Twitter profile this week. And that got people talking like, ooh, could this be playing into the Ahsoka live action rumors? And is he hinting that Rex is going to be in The Mandalorian now? Or is this just his nod that, hey, this may be a scene coming up at the end of Clone Wars? I mean, they did do an epilogue in Rebels, so I would assume they're going to do one in Clone Wars, which could very well show these two together, right? I think we predicted last week that it will be Rex that saves Ahsoka and helps her get off planet. Nick even speculated that maybe even Maul will help.
Yep.
All of them get off of Mandalore. So I don't know, dude. I mean, what are you thinking? Is this Filoni just fucking changing things up and seeing if he can get people going because he's bored during quarantine? Do you think this is a possible hint at something to come in Clone Wars, or is this potential, hey, this has been sitting around since 2015, I love it, and we actually used it in Mandalorian this season?
I like the idea of it being in Mandalorian, because if you think about, I mean, it could definitely be Rex that is the one that saves her, I mean, in Clone Wars. But if we're talking about this image in particular, it shows the old grizzled Rex that we saw at the end of Return of the Jedi. Like you said, gray beard, bald head. And he's riding next to, it's hard to see Ahsoka direct on from what we're, from how this image is drawn and painted. But it looks like an older Ahsoka, and it looks like they are in some sort of, desert area. Like, just look at the way that they're dressed. She's wearing a shawl. He's wearing like a scarf / cape that he could use to cover his face.
Yeah,
in the sandstorm.
When I did the video, I didn't know it was old. So, I mean, the video, I sound like an asshole, but that's true for any video I put out on Star Wars. But it's still, even being a shot from, I think someone sent me an image like, you're stupid, it's from 2015. Even then, it definitely has a concept art feel for the Mandalorian.
It does. It feels like a piece of concept.
Now, why would he have that all those years ago? Who knows? I mean, so that's why I still think maybe it was something for Clone Wars. And potentially this is now a scene that we're going to get to see play out now that Filoni got to finish the Clone Wars.
And the thing is like, if you're doing this, if you're bringing Rex into the Mandalorian, you still have the actor who can play him, and he's aged a bit, so having him play an older Rex actually...
Oh, hell yeah, Tamira?
Yeah, like Tamira, whatever his name was.
Yeah, Tamira Morrison, or however you say his first name. He's a Maureen.
Yeah, so you can have him come back and play the role. We've already had the casting rumor last week that talked about potentially Rosario Dawson taking over as the live-action Ahsoka. So these two things are lining up very, very easily.
And I think that's why it got a little bit of heat. And then even though where people were like, oh, it's old, but, it
doesn't matter that it's old. Like,
why did he throw it up on his Twitter thing?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of weird shit. I mean, to me, the timing, the date, I'm going, it may well be a Clone Wars thing.
It could be both, though. Like, it could literally be like, this is the person that's
dude, because maybe the Clone Wars epilogue will be the bridge to live action debuts of themselves in Mando.
Could be. It could.
What if you see like a fucking animated Baby Yoda, like Clone Wars Baby Yoda?
Dude.
But you know what I mean? Like, obviously it's not gonna be a direct, like, oh shit, there goes full Beskar Din walking by Rex and Ahsoka, but it could show them during that timeline and what they're getting into.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very possible that
maybe they just hear something like, oh, you hear about this blah blah, that this bounty hunter that walked off with this magic baby, or the Force.
Yeah, I mean,
Jedi, shit like that.
You would have to cut like 30 years forward to get that as the what you call it, or actually.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like the epilogue would be that, hey, this is the bridge from these characters being animated to
live action.
We are putting them in a live action world right now.
And then even like, we know how old Baby Yoda is, what, 60, 70, something like 50 years
50.
Old. So you could even get mentions of like, the child in this season of Clone Wars, setting up a potential, like, Ahsoka knows about this child, and then Rex knows about this child, and then, like you said, if you have that epilogue, then you give credence to why these characters would be interested in this child's story arc. So I think it's very possible that it's both. And look, for people saying it's an old picture, it doesn't fucking matter that it's old. What matters is the action that Dave Filoni took now to bring it back into prominence. Like, the only reason that we're talking about it is not because somebody drew it in 2015. It's because the person who created the Clone Wars, or helped create the Clone Wars, and who, created the character of Ahsoka Tano, and is now a primary player in the writing and story arc of The Mandalorian, made that his Twitter background.
It is. There's so many factors that make it as interesting as it is. I mean, it really shouldn't be. It's just some dude fucking changed his Twitter banner.
Yeah.
But the fact that, yes, the Clone Wars with these characters is happening right now, and they're more than likely going to end the series together. Or the fact that Filoni's working on the Mando, and there's a heavy rumor that there's going to be a live-action version of his character Ahsoka, so he could be hinting at that. So there's a lot of things out there that make a man changing his Twitter banner more interesting than it really should be.
Indeed.
But that's kind of the shit we get into here on the Star Wars Time Show. So thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. But we've got some other interesting things coming up for The Mandalorian. Maybe we won't see Rex there. Maybe we won't see Ahsoka. But it is sounding like, at least according to Making Star Wars' Jason Ward, that Michael Biehn, is that how you say it? Is it Biehn or Biehn?
I thought it's probably Biehn.
Michael Biehn of Terminator and Aliens fame is reportedly in The Mandalorian Season 2, playing someone from Din's past, another bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's even gone so far as to provide concept art of the dude, and he kind of looks like he's wearing Han Solo's Mimban
helmet.
gear.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
He's got like a front pistol holster, and he's got almost what looks like a grenade launcher over his shoulder.
Right.
It doesn't look
kind of Ronin, like, there's a little Ronin Wild West feel to this character's look. I mean, he still kind of has like a duster going on. Definitely looks like some sort of Imperial chest plate.
Yeah.
It looks perfect for this guy. I mean, this dude really was kind of in the 80s. He was in some badass action movies.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, recently, not a ton. A lot of, B movies, direct to video or straight to streaming, stuff like that. But, back in the day, he was an Alien. He was in he played Kyle Reese in Terminator. Tombstone. He played Johnny Ringo in Tombstone. So he had his moment, but definitely not anything that you.
Well, speaking of Tombstone, MSW's saying his character is styled after him.
Okay, it's interesting. So, I mean, it's a cool bit of news. But what's also cool is that MSW announced that Bill Burr's character will be coming back for season 2. Not sure how yet. Not sure if Clancy Brown's character will be included, as well as. I can't remember the woman who was running with them.
Yeah, that girl, the Game of Thrones girl.
Yes, I can't remember her name. That saved the life of me. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that a lot of new characters are going to be coming into this season, because we assume that this is going to be a season where they're moving a lot. Like, they're moving around a lot. It's not just going to be on a couple of planets. Like, the Mando's trying to find Jedi in order to hand off Baby Yoda to them, and he's trying to stay away from the Imperial Remnant and all of the other bounty hunters that are probably after them because of this mark that's on their head.
Dude, I mean, it's gonna be a shit show for these people. I mean, even more so than season 1 ended. You got to think they essentially beat a Moff, so he's gonna be pissed as fuck. Who knows if he has any starships. But he should be good with the bounty hunters, right? Because Grief said, "Yeah, we're cool now. You're back in it."
Yeah, but if bounty hunters are only worth as much as the money somebody pays them.
Exactly. I mean, they may be more mercenary at that point, but yeah, I'm sure Gideon's got people on payroll that also are, card-carrying members of Grief's bounty hunter guild.
Yeah.
So do you think? Well, actually, I was hoping before MSW said that Michael is probably going to be a bounty hunter. I was hoping this was going to be the Death Watch member that saved Din as a child.
Yeah, so you get to see kind of more of the flashback and get to expand on what happened to him, how he was trained.
Or just running into him now.
Okay.
Shit, maybe Din finds him. Maybe this guy is still alive somehow.
Yeah, maybe that's like a confidant, like he stayed close with them or something like that.
Right, because, we got to remember, the motherfucker was saved by Death Watch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's Darth Maul Death Watch at that point, but it's got to be close.
Yeah, man, it's
crazy.
It is.
It's crazy shit to think, like, Maul makes way more sense, or Maul could easily transition right into that show more so than any character.
Yeah. All you got to do is flashbacks, anything, just to bring Maul
especially in the flashbacks.
Yeah, like it would be easy to bring Maul back into the show. Fuck.
He's got to be huge. Think how huge Maul is to Mandalore's past.
Bro,
he was responsible for the first fucking siege.
Who says that Maul's even dead now? Like, yes, we saw Obi-Wan stab him and we assume that he's dead.
Maul's toast. I think
bring him back again.
No, please, Nick. Please, no more resurrections of the Maul. I'm so glad he came back, but he died a beautiful death at the hands of his nemesis Ben. So
he did. That was the way
that
for him
needs
to go.
to stay where it is. But in terms of the Mandalorian and flashbacks and whatnot, he could play a massive role on that show, because he enabled Death Watch to overthrow essentially the monarchy, Satine. He killed fucking Satine.
Yeah. Just through the lineage,
all this shit
of the Darksaber, he deserves to be in there. Like, you have to get some kind of history to that blade. Like, you can't reveal the Darksaber through the Mandalorian to a large majority of people who don't know what it is, and then just leave it be. Like, you have to give some sort of, like, context behind that weapon. It's almost like the ring in Lord of the Rings. Like, that
yeah, do that opening 10-minute deal. Like, that's one of the best prefaces for a franchise of that scope. Like, Lord of the Rings is fucking ginormous. Yet Jackson just mastered that opening segment that sets up the entire universe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you've never had to read any of those books, but you kind of already understand the conflict between man, elves, and Sauron. You got it. Done.
Yep. It was perfectly executed. And that works. That would work really well.
I have not watched those in a long time. I'm coming up on a rewatch of some LOTR, I think.
I tried to with Taylor, and she just couldn't do it. Because
really?
She literally couldn't. She couldn't even read the books, though. Like, she's more.
I was gonna say, like, I know she likes to read. Does she even understand that they're considered like literary masterpieces?
Dude, she just can't get into it. She says it's too, like, she liked The Hobbit because The Hobbit, the book The Hobbit, is a lot more, to the point than the actual movies were, but she just couldn't get into Lord of the Rings. And I tried, like, my mistake was I tried to show her Lord of the Rings like fanboy style with, like, extended special edition Blu-rays that are like,
oh yeah. No, you probably should have just went for the theatrical cuts to start.
I know the problem,
because even those are pushing damn near 245, 250.
Yeah. So I don't think that I'm going to get her to watch those, because it's not as important to me that she watched Lord of the Rings as it was that she watched Star Wars. So I'm just gonna accept the win with Star Wars and let that one go. But yeah, man,
think about, like, at the turn of the century, all the major trilogies and shit coming out. Like, the Harry Potter movies started to drop. You had the prequels dropping.
Yeah.
You had the Matrix franchise kicking off.
Yep.
What the hell were we just talking about? Which movie were we just talking about?
Lord of the Rings. And then,
all those motherfuckers were going,
and
like,
then
2000. And
yeah. There was a lot of, like, the late 90s, early 2000s were a really good time for, like, extended storytelling in film. There's probably
there's a chance the movie theater experience will never be the same after this fucking lockdown.
Dude, like, you have to see.
I think some chains are just going to fold.
Yeah, some are just going to shut down. Like
some will be able to probably weather it, but probably have to close certain stores. But I think I think it'll depend on the data they're going to get from these early release, where it's essentially a $20 rental for a day or two for these in-theater movies that you can now get VOD.
Yeah.
But if the data's good there, I don't see why distributors wouldn't want to start doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, that's still cutting out theater chains like an AMC. So what the fuck do they do? I don't want movie theaters to die.
No, I mean, there's no better way to experience a movie like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or The Matrix.
Well, yeah, I mean, really any movie the first time you see it,
Yeah.
the best way to see it is at a movie theater. But even the intern's like, man, can you imagine going to movies after this with all those people? I'm like, well, dude, anything in a crowd, like a sporting event, a hockey game, a football game, a baseball game. Like, what do you mean a movie? It's all the same shit.
There are people that, industry, the company that I work at now, one of our clients, not one that I work on directly, said that they don't think that people are going to be comfortable shopping in stores again. Like, you won't see full in-store shopping capacity back till January. That's what
probably.
That's what.
Yeah, right for the next fucking flu season.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyways, Michael Biehn, Mandalorian, coming from MSW. There's probably a lot of fire behind it.
Yeah. It seems likely.
I wonder if it's someone that helped train Din in the arts of bounty hunting.
It's just so, because it could just be like another like Ming-Na Wen, where
exactly,
where it's just
someone just hunting them down.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we put a lot of thought and speculation behind Ming-Na Wen because she is such like a big character. She's a big actress in Hollywood, and we're like, oh my God, if she's gonna be in this, she's gonna have a substantial role. And then we saw it and we're like, holy shit, is that really it? And we were like trying to grapple with the idea.
Well, I mean, think about how her episode and part ended though. Like,
I know,
it was the only episode to have that clear bonus scene.
Yeah.
And it directly focused on someone walking up to her body.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Is she dead?
Yeah, it's still did
that person save her? I don't know. Why did they do that? Why did they make such a stink about that particular moment? Like, why did that character have to walk up to that dead body? Why couldn't he have popped up and walked up to any other dead body throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see if that's...
So who knows? Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking he's either going to be a mentor, someone that Din is seeking out, or, maybe he knows about Jedi and it's someone that they go to at first to help them find, stories of Force users, and then he backstabs them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or as Nick said, he could just be a full-on, he's just hunting Din's ass because of the child.
Could be. It's going to be interesting. A lot of potential characters sliding into Mandalorian season 2, and another one here is a rumor that we have coming out of MSW again. Yeah.
And this one he is definitely clarifying as a straight up rumor.
Yeah. Jamie,
because he hasn't been able to fully source it out.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Jamie Lee Curtis, most recently of Knives Out fame. But Jamie Lee Curtis has been around the movie theaters and movie scene for a long time.
Yeah. I love Jamie Lee, man.
She's great. I mean, she's great. True Lies, Halloween.
Right there, dude. I was going to say, I'll never forget her from that because she does that strip tease.
Yeah.
And, that was back in the 90s. I was in the high school. And, man, the largest boner from just watching that scene play out.
Dude, it was crazy.
And she's not like someone you would look at that time. Like, she wasn't
like a temptress, like a femme fatale type of character.
Right. I mean, she was a sex symbol when she started out in the movies, screaming, Halloween, this, that, and the other thing. But by then, in True Lies, she was kind of moving into the more of the mom roles,
Yeah.
But damn, man, there's something about that scene, and she had big boobs.
There you go.
You see where I go, man. It's just, that's how guys are, especially when we're young.
Yeah. So this
Definitely
is
thinking with both of those heads.
I will
more so
always
with the
remember
one down south.
that movie. I mean, True Lies is a good movie regardless, but I will always remember it because of her role in it.
Oh yeah, she was great.
But yeah,
I mean, supposedly Ward has seen her on the Mando set, but he has clarified, he's like, yo, listen, Avatar 2, they filmed certain things on this set as well. But to him, from what I inferred from what he wrote, it wasn't just, she wasn't there for like a one-day visit, visiting from Avatar. She had enough appearances on the set that he thinks that she does have a role in Mandalorian, but he has no clue what it could be. Is she a former rebellion? Is she former Empire?
Yeah, I mean, I
think somebody.
I think it's interesting because there are so many of these Imperial remnant characters that could come in now, because we've already seen, Gideon. We already know that my watch is talking to me. We already know that, the Imperial remnant is alive and well. And if you look at like Star Wars Rebels, you had Governor Price, a prominent female character who was a villain. And then if you go back into the old EU novels, you have Hussein Issard, which was like the person that took over the Imperial Remnant as its leader right after the demise of the Emperor and the fall of the Empire as a whole. So
you say Saddam Hussein?
Hussein, it sounded like it. Hussein Issard.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I had no fucking clue. Who the fuck is that?
She was like an admiral that took over the empire, the remnants of the empire after the death of the emperor in old canon. So I would really
dead stuff.
Yeah, like I would really like to see her as a villain. I think that she could play fantastic.
Oh, you do? You want that? Because I was gonna say I'd almost want her as a good person, someone that kind of helps them on their journey.
I want to see her because, like, that's one thing that Star Wars has done really well in written content, but never translated it over into live action or even, like, cartoon content, is have, like, these really powerful female villains. Like, we've had Asajj Ventress, we've had, Governor Price in Rebels, and then you have them scattered throughout the video games too. Like you have Darth Treya, you have Tavion and stuff like that from the video games. But like, what other, female villains have we seen in either live action Star Wars or in animated Star Wars? There's just not that many. I want to see her as a bad person because I think especially after seeing her in Knives Out, you could play her as a bad guy. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm with you, man. I think she would do great as a bad guy, but for some reason, I see a very, a motherly figure.
Could be.
That just wants to take care of the child and get him on his way to his Force family.
Yeah. Dude, it could be interesting. I mean, like, first off, it would be incredible to me if they did get Jamie Lee Curtis on The Mandalorian Season 2, because Jamie Lee Curtis's stock is super high right now in Hollywood. Like, she's, doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think at this point, though, that the show could get whoever it wanted.
I think so, too. I think
anyone would love to be on this at this point.
Yeah, it's not only because of the hype around the show. I think it's also because of Jon. Like, people like working with Jon Favreau, and he's done things in cinema that other people haven't done before. And I mean, like, he did the whole remake of The Lion King. He launched the MCU with the Iron Man franchise. Like, this guy has now made the first ever Star Wars live action TV series to a massive success. Like, people want to work with Jon Favreau. People want to be on The Mandalorian. People want to say that they're a part of Star Wars history. So it wouldn't surprise me if Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. But man, that would be a really big catch for the show.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the Michael Biehn stuff's true as well. I mean, they're just adding. Yeah, I guess celebs specifically from that 80s era, when they were really kind of grinding out movies, bringing them in. It just, it's so Filoni Favreau to me.
Yeah. I'm excited, dude. We're only, for me, not a lot to be excited about in my life right now. I'm excited about Mando season 2, dude.
I wonder how much this is affecting The Mandalorian, though.
It's got to be, because they're shutting down production like everywhere, right?
Because I think they got principal done, but that doesn't mean they don't need to do pickups here and there. Yeah. Let alone, it's not like people have these $10,000, $20,000 computer rigs these motherfuckers are using to do VFX and editing, this, that, and the other thing at their homes.
Yeah.
So even if they're fully in post, I doubt people are working on it.
Yeah, exactly. If it's anything, it's like only one person can be at the facility. So you got like one editor there, and then they finish, and then you have one post guy there. And, it's weird, the situation that we're in now. But, I mean, we haven't heard anything about delays yet. But at this point, it's just safe to assume delays. Like, fucking James Bond got delayed. It's not even coming out in theaters until later this year in November or something like that. And then fucking one thing got pushed all the way into, the Olympics got pushed until July of next year.
Yeah, next year. See ya. And I mean, that's not something you do lightly either, because you essentially have a host city that's been gearing up its full economy for the past couple years to get ready for this event. Yeah. And it's done. All the athletes that have been timing their training to qualify for national events to even make it.
Yeah.
All that's, it's fucking nuts what this shit
like
is
some
doing.
Athletes may not even, like, you have to think of like the athletes who this year was going to be their last Olympics. Like, 1 year is mass. Can they even compete in a year? Like,
yeah.
Are they even Olympic caliber, competition at that point? It's fucking crazy, dude. So yeah, I mean, it's safe to assume that any sort of like production project right now is probably going to be delayed, but no word yet from Disney or Lucasfilm on the status of Mandalorian season 2. So yeah, man. COVID-19, the fucking plague of our time, is literally ruining everything that we can think of.
Yeah, just kind of bank on it for a delay. I would. Unless Lucasfilm, Disney, whoever have paid to ship all the rigs home and connect everybody in a way that they can keep the workflow going on post, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, so we'll see, guys. But Mando season 2, Michael Biehn for sure, and then Jamie Lee Curtis maybe. But we'll get to that. We'll see it in maybe October. We'll see. We got one more piece of news for you guys, or one more, story for you guys before we get into our top 5. And this is a little piece on the TROS novel. I think we've been coming back to this every few weeks, every couple of weeks now that the book is out there in the wild.
Yeah, my post titles say everything about how I like these little updates here.
It's basically everything that is in the novel. The novel should have just been the movie at this point.
A lot of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can argue, he didn't need to go see that fucking Oracle thing or whatever it's called. But but it would have been cool.
Yeah,
it would have slowed really things down a little bit.
So in this particular story, it's a scene that happened in the book between Kylo and Chewie after Chewie was captured by the Knights of Ren on Pisana, and it's the interrogation. It's essentially like an interrogation of Chewbacca by Kylo, and what it does is it sets up the relationship that existed between Ben and Chewie. So here's the excerpt from the book. It says, he saw flashes of the Wookiee laughing with a much younger Han Solo than he himself remembers. So this is even before Kylo was born, before Ben was born. It says, felt Chewbacca's joy when his best friend married the woman he'd come to love like a sister. Saw the Wookiee cuddling a human toddler, teaching an older boy to fly a speeder, target practice with a young man. Their blasters set.
That's Ben Solo, by the way.
Yeah, this is
for
all
everyone
Ben
that
Solo.
didn't know.
So starting with the cuddling a human toddler, yes.
Yeah, for those of you that didn't get it,
Yeah.
it's Ben.
Their blasters set on stun against the haphazard dummy made from rocks. So
I mean, come on. Like that shit is fantastic. Like, imagine if they just fleshed those memories out just real quick on screen.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, even the thing that you went on to add in the post saying that Kylo could see pictures of Ben in Chewbacca's house, not pictures of other Wookiees, not pictures
Yeah,
of,
no Wookiee-ettes or, none of his Wookiee side pieces he was getting.
Yeah.
It was just, it was Ben Solo. So it showed to Kylo, this is how, the way it's explained in the book is it showed to Kylo that, like, you know what? Yeah, you did fucking kill your own father and this Wookiee's best life mate, but he still loves you. There is a chance. And this is essentially the first time that Kylo realized that he could feel hope again.
Yeah.
And it taught him that, this is what it would mean to return to my former self, family, and friends. Like, people do love me. They did love Ben Solo. They can still love Ben Solo if I fucking allow him to come back.
Yeah. And like, it just matches so perfectly with the level of despair that Ben was feeling in the comic thread.
Yeah, he hated himself.
Yeah.
Like like we've talked about. I mean, he was much more clear in what he thought he wanted to be than Anakin was, but he could never make the full cut like Anakin did. Like, I mean, Anakin, the way it's portrayed in the movies, it's terrible. It's very wonky. Like, hey, whatever, I'll just fucking become evil. But once he did, he pretty much committed to it until his grown son snapped him out of it.
Yeah. And like,
Kylo always thought he had to be bad, but he could never fully tilt. He did horrible shit, but he could never just fully embrace it 100%.
yeah, I mean, that was perfectly portrayed in the TLJ scene where, like, he literally has the one thing left that he had attachment to in this world in his crosshairs, and he couldn't do it. And this just goes to show, I mean, we see his ultimate, the redemption towards the end of TROS and everything like that. But you're right. Like, a scene like this would have been beautiful to play out in the movie.
I mean, it's just, if you think about the dynamic between Chewie and Ben, period, and the fact that it was completely ignored throughout the trilogy, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, just read the excerpt. He was an uncle, if not another dad almost, or a best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, Chewie taught him everything. Chewie taught him how to have fun, how to shoot, how to dick around, how to fix shit, how to race.
Yeah. Chewie probably gave him his first alcoholic space beverage. Like,
exactly.
Like,
Yet, in these three movies, like, you wouldn't even know that they ever had a bond.
Yeah, the only interaction that you ever really see with Chewie and Kylo is right when, he kills Han and then Chewie shoots him. But, like, in that moment, you knew, like, you saw Chewbacca's reaction, and, like, you knew it was because his best friend was just killed, but you also knew that part of that was because it was his son who did it, and
Yeah, I mean, Chewie could have took his fucking head off. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben/Kylo was stunned.
Yeah.
Just like Snoke called him out at the beginning of TLJ. He's like, you fucking pussy. You did that, and it broke you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those...
I guess, Nick, I didn't write it here, but I guess Kylo, as he's interrogating Chewie, blames him for why he got bested by a scavenger on Starkiller Base. He's like, if it wasn't your fault, you fucking shot me. That's the only reason Rey was able to beat me. I was off, I was feeling hurt and shit.
He's probably not wrong. I mean, he did get shot.
Well, yeah, there was that, and the fact that he just killed his dad.
There's a lot
like we
of
said,
things.
The guy is a fucking emotional mess, period. I mean, that's why I'm glad we read the Rise of Kylo Ren. Now you see it. Even his turn was not definitive. I mean, it was he's like, okay, I guess I'll just do it.
Yeah, he literally said, "There's no other path for me."
He's
when
like,
he was
okay, yeah, it's like, you want me to do this, they want me to be this, so I guess I'll just do it.
Yeah, it was
It's like, oh golly gee, Ben, okay.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, this shit just once again is like, man, why? Like, was there a need? Was there really a need
For a 2 hour and 20-minute cut?
Right. Like, were we looking for some sort of record? I mean, what was it? Was there data behind this move? Did Bob say, yo, if we have it at this exact runtime, we will make X million more dollars than if it's this runtime? Because I don't get it. Like, why? Especially something like this. Okay, the Oracle, all it really says, like, oh, hey, yeah, you beat all the Mustafarian motherfuckers that were protecting it. Now you can open it. You earned it. All right. Okay. It doesn't really add much to the story. Still would have been great to see. But this? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this
Chewbacca having a moment with Han Solo's son like this, and it's cut completely. Like, you don't even see them interact.
Yeah, like literally it is Chewie gets captured, Chewie gets rescued. That's basically, you don't even get to see him in confinement outside of when they get there.
Yeah,
to
when they walk in,
him.
he looks all like he's, he had the shit kicked out of him, but
yeah,
you never know why. Well, here you go. Now you know why. It's because Ben Solo, his human nephew, his human quasi-son, just rifled through his memories.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show that, like, I can never blame J.J. Abrams for what TROS ended up being. Because I feel like shit like this that he had in his head, that he had in his drafts, because they write these novels based off of earlier drafts of the script. That's why you see a lot of things that aren't in the movie, even in books like, the novelization of TFA. They're based off of earlier versions of the script. So, like, I can never blame J.J. Abrams for the fact that TROS didn't turn out the way that it should have, because he had ideas like this. Like, he had ideas like the Oracle. He had ideas like this one. He had ideas that would have made this story so much more fleshed out and so much more satisfying, but they hit the cutting room floor because of things outside of his
I don't even know if this one got shot. I mean, I know there's some
not.
concept art I've seen for it, but
yeah, I mean, it probably did.
I mean, according to JJ's best buddy Greg, there is no JJ cut.
I doubt.
So this is what JJ wanted us to see.
I don't think that's true, and I think that's because, one, J.J. Abrams himself can never say that he has a cut of this movie that exists, because Disney would essentially blackball him from Hollywood. Like, they have the power to do that. You don't think that if J.J. Abrams comes out and says, yeah, I have a 3 hour and 24-minute cut that I want to release, but Disney will never let me do it, that he'll work again? Probably not. And, Greg Grunberg can't say that, he's got it, I've seen it, it's going to happen. Like, it's just, that's the politics of Hollywood, unfortunately.
Are you a conspiracy theorist, Nick?
I may be. For this, I think so. But yeah.
Are you saying Greg Grunberg released COVID-19?
I think so. I think I have an image of that, like him standing.
Just to distract us all from the JJ cut?
Yeah. I have a picture of Greg Grunberg in a plane that has COVID-19 written on it. So.
That fat bastard.
Oh, man.
I read somewhere, apparently Snap Wexley he's like the stepson or nephew of Wedge or some shit.
Really? Interesting. The nephew of Wedge. Okay. I mean, I could buy it. I figured that he was always related to Porkins because they're both fat. He was avenging his fucking uncle's death at the hands of the Empire and won't let another evil regime reign across the galaxy. But, I could buy that he was related to Wedge.
I could be making that shit up. Sometimes, like, I don't know if I'm actually recalling shit from real life or when I'm kind of like half passed out at night, falling asleep, dreaming, that type of shit.
Yeah, making your own Star Wars stories in your head. But, I mean, people need to go pick up the TROS novelization. and read it, because I mean, I guess I should do that too. But you know how it is to read books, everybody. It's hard. It's only words. There's no pictures.
Oh, dude. Did you see that Marvel is suspending all comic books now, even digital?
What? Why?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Why suspend digital? Like, I understand physical, but like, you just tell your physical buyers, like, okay, hey guys, we're gonna be suspending physical edition purchases for the time being, but you can get digitals. And then here's the deal: you could even say, if you buy the digital, we'll give you the physical for whatever 75% off when we release them in stores. Like,
I think they're doing it for the traditional people and the comic shops to like not completely drive them out of business.
yeah,
You know?
I get it, but man, dude, that's
Because, I mean, clearly if you love comics, you would go digital if you had access to it and couldn't walk to a comic shop. So I think that's what they're doing.
yeah,
Because I'm like you. I'm like, fuck those motherfuckers. But then when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, at this point in time, if we don't want the economy to completely collapse, we should try to save some cash and whatever funds we have for local restaurants, pubs, shops, anything you can. So, I mean, that's why they're doing
yeah,
it.
you're 100% right. And like, look, I try to, Taylor and I are trying to order food a few times a week to support the local restaurants that are open, doing delivery and stuff like that around the house. Like, one of our favorite breweries they put their, can their beers to go now. So we've picked up some from them twice already. Like, we're making sure that we support the small businesses when we can. And so, I mean, I get it. I get the move, but it does suck for like us, like for people who are reading digitally and stuff like that. But I can get behind it if it's for the good of local comic shops all over the country. So I guess so.
Yeah, that's at least what I'm telling myself, so I don't sound like a complete asshole and just start popping off here.
Yeah. But that's the end of our stories for this week. The TROS novelization, you could probably get it on digital since you can't get it on, bookshelves. You could order it on Amazon too, but I don't know how many people are comfortable with Amazon deliveries at this point in time. So let's get.
Did you see that there was some cocksucker in California spitting on packages?
It's just like people like that, dude. They should literally be arrested. Like, they should arrest you and they should fucking throw you in jail for like 5 years. Like,
that's like the only good thing China had with this shit, with its communism, is its ability to essentially just do whatever it wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I know that
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen, guys, like they essentially said, okay, this city, you're dead, you're shut down, you're done. We need 40,000 people from this city and this city. You're coming down. You're fucking helping.
Yeah.
All right, you motherfuckers. This is your hotel? Okay, we're taking it. This is going to be a quarantine zone. This is your school? We're taking it. This is going to be a recovery center. That's how they did all that shit.
Yeah, and
that's never going to happen here.
No, the most that we got is that they arrested some fucking crazy Trump-loving pastor who was still holding certain like churches with like 100+ people in them during the quarantine, like the lockdown period of time.
Yeah, but that's just you. They're still doing it down in Tampa like it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's fucking
like
crazy.
No arrest, no nothing. So, I mean, people need to understand at this point, the longer we fuck off with this social distancing, the worse things are, the longer it's going to take to get things back to some sort of normal state.
Yeah.
We're not going to be fully normal for probably a year.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like being able to go outside, interact, go to a restaurant maybe with limited patrons. Like the longer we all just pretend that this isn't real and we're still going out and spreading it, the longer we're fucked. So just chill. Like, chill for the 6 to 8 fucking weeks.
Yeah, sit down, watch some Disney Plus, watch Star Wars, read a book, read a comic, play a video game. There's a lot of Star Wars content out there for you people. If you have, there's no way.
Do the chronological rewatch of Clone Wars, for Christ's sake. I mean, just looking that up back and forth and keeping yourself on track is enough to eat up some time.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, go read legacy books. Go read the Legends novels. Those are still available. Like, go read some of the new.
Go read about Snap Wexley and figure out if he is related to Wedge.
Yeah.
I can't.
We need confirmation.
I've been trying to do it while we're fucking vamping here, but can't find it.
Somebody become our researcher and tell us all the facts that we need to know. on some of this bullshit that we come up with. But yes, speaking of the quarantine, that's how I opened up our top 5 Instagram Star Wars artists of the week this week, asking, are you crazy yet? Are you crazy from your quarantine yet? Because I know my girlfriend Taylor is starting to get a little stir crazy. She's been, she's doing like 2-mile runs every morning now. That was not something she did before, but just to get out there, get some fresh air,
Yeah, I've started doing CrossFit shit. Like I ordered kettlebells, and I'm learning kettlebell workouts, and I've almost broken my forearms. But
that was her thing. Like she did CrossFit for like 2 or 3 years.
It feels good to like actually move some sort of weight down in my basement outside just doing like push-ups, sit-ups, and riding on a bike.
The problem for us right now is that in the apartment we're on the fucking 3rd floor, so like we can't like jump up and down. We can't like drop weights on the floor because
I would get fucking killed if I lived in an apartment right now. What I'm doing, I mean, I've got a 50-pound kettlebell sometimes that I'm deadlifting and dropping after a superset or a cycle.
Yeah,
where I'm about ready to die. So you would be shot.
So again, one thing that would be remedied if I was actually living in my house now, but that's for another time, people. Now is the time for you, for the Instagram community.
The top five. It's why everyone's here, and you guys probably have ignored the previous, hour and 45 minutes, but I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm a narcissist too. I like when people talk about me as well. It makes us feel good. And these days, we do need to feel good. And I've been getting some feedback, So before we go into the top 5 segment, we gotta do our little new mention opening part of the top 5 here. So to start out here, I believe this is our buddy Reed from Facebook. Yes. He is now on Instagram, but loving the newest episode, guys. Guess I'll have to get more familiar with IG after Matt's mini rant about Facebook, in which he was 100% correct. Yes, I am correct. I am right about most things in life. So please keep listening to me. We're all going to die. All right. Up next in the mentions, this one comes from our buddy Star Wars Toys 73. I believe down there in the land down under, Australia, right? Crocodile Dundee zone.
Oh, man.
That's not a knife. Okay, so just listen to the last podcast. You honor me, sir. You gave me much needed good feels. I own a cafe and the government has all but shut us down due to COVID-19. So I'm struggling to keep my business open. On Monday, I had to call 15 of my staff to let them know they no longer have jobs. Oof. So thank you for being my kind of cunts. And you help people more than you know by being the awesome jerk-off you are. Also, fuck Nick for never choosing my shitty basic bitch picks.
Well, we know who the community likes now. They like you. I'm the enemy.
Yeah. Fucking Nick for never choosing my shitty basic bitch picks. That is a statement right there.
Well, at least he knows there's room to improve,
But there was plenty of rolling out loud laughing emojis and then the kissy emojis.
There we go.
So I think it was all in good fun. But yeah, fuck you, Nick.
There we go.
All right, so if anyone else has more hate for Nick, you know how to get a hold of me. You'll probably get a mention on the show. Up next, I always like when we motivate people, right? We motivated, I think, South P last week to do a dead body shot.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Now we got Kingdom of Weird here. And I think you may have picked this.
I think I may have as well.
You may have picked this. But I made the mention segment. I put it in here because, all right, so Kingdom of Weird, he does a lot of 3 3/4 inch stuff, like great stuff, great setups, great sets. But anyways, he did like a little story, and if you keep reading the caption, he essentially explains that he did this shot for, guess what? The Star Wars Time Show. That's right. So after hearing the podcast, Heroes discussing why Palpatine's clone was old and not one in earlier years, he wanted to kind of flesh this out in toy photography form. So I thought that was pretty excellent. And I believe we'll be talking more about the shot itself, so I'll just go ahead and leave it there.
Yes, we will be.
But I like that. I think this is a few times now we've gotten fans of the show that have either been on the top 5 or just listened because they're Star Wars fans in general that have now said, hey, because of something you idiots have said on the show, I've tried to do it in my hobby, which I think is pretty fucking radical.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, you assholes let us down in March. It's looking like we're going to have a down month even from February with the extra days. So all you motherfuckers can go fuck yourself. All right. But we'll give you a break. It has not been the best month for life, for humans in general. It's probably one of the worst months in all of humanity, at least these current generations that are still alive. So we get it, but the shit better go back up in April. Lockdown, I mean, you got nothing else to do but listen to us, so drive up the numbers.
There we go.
A couple more here, Nick, before we move on. Ches picks. This one was to me personally, but he just reached out and wanted to thank me because, I kind of made him my top one, as Nick called it, and now Greg's running with. He thinks the top one is where it's at, but trust me, it's top 5 is where the magic happens. But got your note, Chris. Appreciate it. You bet, buddy. Love your stuff. It even motivated me to get out and do some natural light setups this past week. But I've got a story coming up on that because I managed to ruin everything, including this hobby, when I'm even trying to take a less stressful approach to it. I'll just get right into that story, Nick. So I think I sent you the image through our Slack, but last Wednesday, and if I didn't, my bad. But last Wednesday, no, I put it on our IG and my personal IG.
Yeah.
So like I said, last week, top 5, I picked Ches Picks. He does some fantastic natural light photography, a lot of 3 3/4 inch stuff, Jabba's sail barge, wonderful. And I was kind of lamenting the fact that I've gotten away from just, grab some figures, get your camera, maybe a tripod for some stability, but that's it. No bullshit. You don't need all these fucking loom cubes, this, that, and the other thing. So last week, it was a bit nice up here in Ohio. So I got the kid outside to kind of temper her stir craziness. And, I'm doing some toy shots, having a good time, just loving life, setting them right up down on the ground again like I did when I started with Funko Pops. I was like, man, this is almost fun again. I almost enjoy this. And then I pull out my Figuarts crate fucking Luke Skywalker figure, all right? And everything just melted from there, my friend. I get one shot with him and old Han. I'm trying to do like a creative shot, like, you're right, kid. No one's ever really gone. Yeah, I get the shot. I'm like, you know what? I got crate Luke out. I got some decent natural light still going with my atmosphere aerosol. It'll be a nice little hazy shot. I'm going to go ahead and pop his hands off and put on his lightsaber hands because that's what you got to do, Nick. You got to take their fucking hands off sometimes so they can hold their lightsaber, especially on these $80 Figuarts figures.
Yes.
Okay, so I get the one hand off, pop the saber hand on, no problem. Other hand off, no problem. Okay, here's where things really start to go south. So I'm trying to put on his other hand, his non-glove hand.
Yeah.
And the shit will not go on the fucking peg. The peg either keeps bending itself in because it too moves around so the wrist can move when you have the hand attached. But you need enough force to kind of pop a peg into a little hand hole to get the fucking hand to stick on the peg, right?
Yep.
So I'm sitting there at first. I'm like, taking deep breaths. This has happened before. I mean, any figure collector out there that deals with accessories, interchangeable hands, that sometimes it can be a fucking clusterfuck, foobar, like just the worst situation because these damn things don't want to fit on the pegs. All right. Now we're talking 10 minutes. Now I'm starting to get frustrated because the light's starting to go down. That's everything when you're doing natural light. Like you have certain hours where you get that money sun at the end of the day, at the beginning. And it's slowly going down. Like, it doesn't matter. I can get it. I'll get this fucking hand. We'll get the shot. Okay, 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Now I'm starting like, oh, fuck you, motherfucker. You fucking shit. Like, fuck. cocksucker. I rip his fucking arm out so I can get better leverage. I'm like, all right, this will work. So now I got this little fucking dude's arm, and I'm sitting there trying to jam the hand in, and it's still not going in, dude. The peg's folding over. I'm jamming my thumbs into my other hand, and I am just getting furious. So now I'm like, fuck it. Maybe I do need the body. I popped the arm back on the body. So now I'm holding the body, but I'm getting tense. I'm starting to grab the body a little bit harder. So now what starts to happen? Now his fucking legs start to fall off. His fucking torso starts to come apart. Before you know it, I'm holding the SH Figuarts Crate Luke in my hand in pieces. Legs, feet, arms, hands, the head. So I'm like, motherfucker, the sun's going down. I'm like, I'm not going to get the shot. So now the panic's really starting to set in. I rebuild him one more time. And I'm like, this is it. I'm going to get the hand this time. So again, as I'm jamming, slowly trying to apply the pressure to get the hand go on, the motherfucker crumbles to pieces again, and that was it. That's when I grabbed the torso that still had one arm, a head, and the two legs. I took it, wound the motherfucker up, and threw it as hard as I could pitch it at a concrete wall. So we're talking an $80 figure. I just fucking fastballed into a wall from maybe 15 feet away. So it was zooming when it hit that wall. As soon as it hit, I see pieces just go fling, 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 like everywhere. And I'm still at that point like all fucking huffed up, Tommy Tough Guy, like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. Eat shit, you little bitch. Like talking shit to a fucking action figure. In my backyard, no one else is there. I'm just carrying on like this, like a fucking little, again, like the 5-year-old. This is when he comes out during the hobby. Swearing it up and down. I'm like, that's what you get, motherfucker. Fuck you. When in the back of my head, reason's starting to kick in, going like, dude, you're talking shit to a figure that you spent $80 of your own money to fucking buy.
Yep.
And now you probably just fucking broke it to where it's a piece of garbage.
Yeah, where it's useless.
But I still don't want to admit it because I'm used to playing that game because of how many fucking Xbox 360 controllers I smashed in my life. I'm talking $400 worth. So I know what that feels like, to where you do it and you do break it and you feel good for a second. Like right when you break it, you're like, yeah, finally, fuck you. But then immediately after that, that's when the regret sinks in. And you feel like a big fucking asshole loser because you're like, dude, you're an adult and you're smashing shit that costs big money.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was me out on my deck. So I then proceed to spend the next 45 minutes, at this point giving up on the photo shoot clearly, looking for his pieces. Because I'm like, fuck. I can't. This is literally a trash figure. I couldn't even sell it. Like his head popped off. There's no fucking head left. There's just a body. So all I could find before I turned in at night was his body. His fucking arms, legs, and torso. No head. So I'm like, that's it. You literally just blew this $80 figure. So I cool down, take a shower. Couldn't let it go. I walk out at night, turn my flashlight. I'm like, fuck it. I'll do one more scan. I find his headpiece, dude, laying like down in the yard, feet and feet and feet away from where he exploded. It was a miracle. But here's the kicker. I turn it around. The fucking face part's gone.
Oh, God.
So I have a Crate Luke with a missing face piece.
Oh, man.
Assembled, but I will never touch it again because of how fucking fragile it is and what it did to me that night. It really ruined my night, my experience, being out there, getting back to basics. So there you go, toy photographers. I know sometimes you like those stories of pain that we go through. Fucking putting little hands on 1/12 scale figures could be one of the worst exercises we have to do for this hobby.
Wow.
Enough said.
Well, Ches Picks, I hope that makes you feel a little...
That's your fucking fault. Trying to get out there, be like you, be like Non, like, oh yeah, look, natural light shots and shit, and this little fucker I couldn't get his hand on, and it was just over. So I essentially destroyed an $80 figure. I mean, I do have the one face, but he's not fully complete. I'll never shoot him again. I hate him. I don't really even want to put him in my case, but I can't quite throw him out either. So I don't know what to do. So before we fully move into the top 5, I just want to get out a notice there because I think I'm going to float this out on IG at least and probably Facebook. But Nick and I, we want to do another round of Ask Us Anything. So look for the graphic on IG and or Facebook. And just know when you see it to leave questions and comments or DM us, or on IG there'll probably be a story poll to solicit questions as well. So the Ask Us Anything, again, is Ask Us Anything. We'd prefer it to be Star Wars related, but yeah, at this point, why not? Let's have some fun. So once we build up enough questions, we'll do a full-on segment or a special episode for that. We also want to float the idea, so I made a graphic. I'm going to put it out there, but Sir Dork suggested fans submitting a shot, every other week or maybe once a month for me, Haywood Pop, to kind of break down like I'm about to do during this top 5, because this is one of those top 5s where my friend Nick is going to surprise me with one of my old shots. And I'll probably be a little critical of myself, but same idea. You'd submit a shot, I'd break it down. I probably wouldn't be as mean as I'm about to be to myself, but I would give you my honest opinion about what I'm looking at. So just look out for those graphics. Get involved. The more interaction we have, obviously, the better these segments will be. So I just wanted to get that out there before I turn it over to my man, the host, the maestro of the top 5 fan artist features of the week.
Oh, yes. Here we are. We're back here for the top 5, trying to get through the week, trying to get through the quarantine. And you know what? We have some really, really good shots here from some fantastic artists. So let's kick it off. Let's start it off with the GOAT, one of the GOATs, GOAT 1, GOAT 2, GOAT A, GOAT B.
Yeah, they're getting all upset because they think Papa P is the new GOAT. I'm like,
really?
Don't worry. You guys are the GOAT. You'll always be the GOATs. There's only 2 GOATs at this point.
Yeah,
in time.
I know. Look,
limited edition.
We have
Star
the
Wars
Rushmore.
time.
We talked about the Star Wars time, Mount Rushmore. Papa's on that, but we have at Sir Dork 730, our good buddy Jared Middleton, the OG GOAT, GOAT 1, GOAT 2, AB, whatever you want to call yourself. But he's got a really crispy Stormtrooper shot here. And I'm not talking about crispy in the way that we usually say it. I'm talking about actual
literal
charred, crisp Stormtrooper. And this is like, when I think of Sir Dork, when I think of Jared, like this is the exact thing that I think of. Like a roasted Stormtrooper in the middle of a fiery blaze with like half of his face missing.
This to me, this shot, this is what Jared looks like after one of his toy photography shoots goes bad.
Yeah, he just burns off like half of his body.
This would be the demise of Sir Dork right here.
Yeah, this would,
And he'll turn into a zombie Stormtrooper. But, I mean, to me, first and foremost, this figure is fucking titties.
Yeah.
This is a custom made by, it looks like a Soul Tease Art Creations. I guess Jared met him at a Comic-Con that I know Jared and Chaos Cutie set up for and sold some shots and shit. But love the figure. Love Jared's pose. It is very zombie-like, which I think this is a zombie trooper. Yeah, and then obviously he's got his patented flames out there. Probably had his blowtorch. Some gasoline, other fossil fuels. You never know what type of flammable liquid this dude is rolling with. But, yeah, I mean, definitely if you say Sir Dork, this is a type of shot that comes to mind.
Yeah. What I really like here is the way that he has the figure positioned. He's got the leg cocked in. He's got the shoulder back, the arm coming up, and the head.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I mean. The pose is a spot-on zombie trooper pose. Yeah. I mean, that is what a Walker trooper would look like. Like, all can't really walk too straight, walking all ratchety.
Dude, it's...
So, yeah, I mean, that's what stood out to me initially, why I featured it, using the hashtag Star Wars Time Show. Again, my friends, if you want to be immortal and made infamous on the Star Wars Time Show broadcasting network, you got to tag us in your Star Wars art on Instagram. So at Star Wars Time Show. Tag us that way and use hashtag Star Wars Time Show.
Yeah.
Like our buddy at Sir Dork 730.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful shot. So yes, at Sir Dork 730, wonderful stuff. One of the GOATs, and will always be one of the GOATs. Thank you, Jared, for the excellent picture. Next up, we have a really awesome poster recreation by @Tones1138. He's an avid follower. He's an avid commenter. Tags me on shots personally on IG. I think tags Matt too. The guy's a true Star Wars.
Oh, yeah,
fan.
and I want to give a shout out because he is someone that is still deemed an essential worker at this time. He's over in the UK, and I guess he works at a factory that is now making... They're either making respirators or parts for ventilators that our country needs because we were not prepared.
Yeah, so thank you.
Shout out there.
Yes, big thank you.
Appreciated.
So what we see here is a poster recreation from Episode 4 from A New Hope, and it's all done with figures. So just picture the Episode 4 poster art, and then replace all of the little, the people that you see on it. So
it's
Vader,
Paul Mann. Like if you're into like movie poster art, geek art, the name Paul Mann may stand out, but this is Tones did a recreation of Paul Mann's Star Wars poster.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. But yeah, I mean this is what Tones specializes in. It's either recreating scenes with figures and putting them on kind of like Topps cards, or these posters with figures, and they're always a treat. I mean, they really are well done, and just how you composite all these different elements into the shot.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it looks like, if it wasn't, it looks like the actual poster. It doesn't look like he just went in and dropped some toys on it. Like the work that he put into, like you said, composite this in and make it all look, solid and realistic and believable as a poster is fantastic jobs.
Look, I mean, he's so good at this Photoshop shit. Look down there. Like, even his logo looks like the Topps logo.
Yeah, it does. TONES.
The Tones 1138. I think that's hilarious.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So, yeah.
But yeah, this is fantastic stuff. Like, I'm always amazed by compositing work because, again, I'm assuming every one of these figures were shot on their own, probably against a very basic background, green screen, white, black, cut out and then mashed together to make the poster.
Yeah, makes sense.
And these are figure arts. At least the Skywalkers, Han, Chewie, Kenobi, Vader looks like it too. I'm not sure about the ships. Not sure if those are toys or if those are just like random. Yeah, clip art.
Yeah. Awesome job. @Tones, TONES.
Yes, 1138. Everyone knows what that is. If you don't know yourself, George Lucas, and you don't understand Star Wars fan culture.
THX. Yes. All right. Next up is not a toy photography piece. It's a piece from one of our favorite artists here @SuperScoundrel.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And
yeah.
Go ahead. Riff.
This guy, sorry, Nick, I get excited when I see Super Scoundrel stuff. Because I feel like he's someone we found either right when he was about to take off, or we found, shared, and just helped him go nuts within Star Wars fan art, social media stuff. Because his account is just going crazy in terms of followers, and he keeps churning out, sometimes daily, but if not, at least 2 or 3 pieces a week. Of stuff like this, and this is a Shadow Trooper, no, a Dark Trooper.
Dark Trooper it's like a skin within Battlefront 2. Yeah.
Right, it's done within his animation or his style, which I'm calling it an animation style. That's what it looks like. I don't know if it's vector or what, but I just anything Super Scoundrel puts out these days, it's like, okay, that's going in the folder. That's awesome. I really want a high quality, super glossy, super shiny art book that's about 1.5 foot high of this guy's work that I've seen on Instagram, so I could just flip pages front and back and see shots like this Dark Trooper.
You hear that, Devin? You need to get on that. Make yourself
staple this shit together and fucking COVID seal it and mail it out.
Yeah, coffee table book or whatever people call that shit now. But yeah, I mean, all of Devin's work is just top notch. I mean, right after he put out this one, he put out a Mud Trooper. He's got a picture of Eminem there. I mean, that's really like
it's his style. It's so cool because it's not full on animated cartoon, but it's also not full on live action. It is kind of like that cell shade version, but even slicker, maybe a little more cyberpunk, a little more shine and color.
Yeah, like this to me, like you could see this figure or this trooper in like the Gennady Tartakovsky, Clone Wars. I feel like that would fit really well into that like art and animation style. So yeah, I mean, at super_scoundrel on Instagram. I mean, we've, Devin has been a staple of the top 5 for as long as we've known about his account, and I don't foresee that falling off unless he just like loses his hands and can't make art anymore.
But yeah, please don't happen. Stay inside, stay safe, don't touch shit so you have to cut off your hands.
Yeah, please don't do that. So, excellent work, and on we go to the next one.
Like literally one of my favorite accounts on IG.
Oh yeah,
for Star Wars fan art. Just fucking love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I know Greg keeps calling it out. Do you see where we're at though? 4,500.
Yeah, I mean the growth it seems has slowed down a little bit. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, IG's choking shit hard. Like, I mean, it's killed Haywood Pop again, but it's even starting to come over to Star Wars time.
Yeah, so 5,000. Once we hit 5K, if all manufacturing in the world's not, ended at that point, we will do the hats. The hats will come, but that's still 500 followers.
Again,
away.
We can't do everything, people. We put on the show. You got to fucking go out and talk about it and tell people and trick people that it's actually worth listening to. And then once they do, subscribing to, commenting, interacting, leaving ratings, reviews, all that fun stuff,
yes.
Right? You got to do something. Come on.
Yes.
Get off your lazy asses. Just don't go outside. Remember, you don't have to spread the disease. You have to spread the show.
Exactly. And that can all be done from the comfort of your own home, on your phone, on your computer, on whatever device you use. So next up here in the top 5, we have a brand new entry, brand new artist hitting the top 5.
Yeah, I like this one too.
At Lennon @ toys.
Yeah, John Lennon.
John Lennon. He's not dead anymore. He's now doing Star Wars toy photography. And what this shot is it's just a simple shot of a stormtrooper taking a dewback to get some water. I mean, what's really cool about it, though, is that the reflection that Lennon was able to catch in the water is, I don't know if it's Photoshopped or if that was actually like the reflection.
No, I bet that's a true mirror reflection. You got this nice smooth water, so you get that true reflection. It's giving us a mirrored image of the trooper with his dewback. I think the dewback, like the water coming out, that's probably Photoshopped. Yeah. Because you're not really getting any ripples in the actual
water
puddle.
Yeah.
But like the thing that caught my eye and why it got featured outside of it having # Star Wars Time show is that damn reflection. Yeah. And it just being, again, a nice, simple outdoor shot. No wires are needed, no extra light. I assume there's no extra light needed for this. It's just framed well, and that reflection clearly is the star of the shot, and the thing that makes you go, wow, those toys look fucking great.
Yeah.
They look more than just toys.
Yeah,
this is something I find pleasing.
Yeah, it looks really fucking cool. I mean, I don't think we often see the dewback figure either. Like, so seeing that in use here was really cool. Just the way that he's got it packed up. I mean, like, it looks like this stormtrooper is literally like on a desert, trek with his dewback. He's packed up with his, stuff, and the dewback's packed up as well. I mean, it's just an overall really cool concept, a really cool execution on the shot. And you're right. I mean, that what really makes it is that reflection. Like, the fact that he was able to identify that and capture that in the picture itself was awesome. So at Lennon.toys on Instagram. Well done, sir. All right, so next up is the image that or the toy pic that Matt was talking about from Kingdom of Weird on the mention section of things. So now we get to actually talk about it a little bit more, break it down a little bit. So what we have here is basically Kingdom of Weird used a bunch of different, Palpatine figures, a bunch of different Imperial figures, and all of these to put together this shot based off of, the idea that we had that there, was there a young Palpatine? So what we see is old Emperor Palpatine, and then we see young Palpatine, and then younger Palpatine, and then we see an old kind of Episode 3 Palpatine in a bacta tank, and then you see Lama Su up in the front. Lama Su is the Kaminoan cloning administrator, so she's overseeing all of this work being done by Palpatine to create the proper version of himself to be seen in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love that we motivated Kingdom of Weird to even do this, but just look at the scene set here. I mean, he's essentially setting up like all the tests that were being done, and the fact that an old beat down clone body was required to harness just the raw power of Palpatine, and they were actively testing this shit out. You got like younger versions working over the Snoke clones and shit. So it told a great story. I mean, outside of being a fun shot. And again, dude, these are the tiny figures.
Yeah.
These are the 3 3/4 inch. So, I mean, they hardly have any articulation. And to make them look like they're doing something more than just holding their hands at their sides is impressive. So I love the attention to detail that Kingdom of Weird put into this setup here, and it's a fun concept.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it came out of our dumb asses. Like somehow the stupid shit we talk about motivated someone to realize it in real life, and in this case, do it in toy photography form.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty rad.
It's awesome. And then I like his original caption too. It says, "Experiments on Exegol 2. Only an elder," this is in quotes, "only an elder clone can hold the spirit of a Sith Lord. It is for this reason that your clones must be of an advanced age to sustain that power." And it says, Lama Su to Emperor Palpatine as he remotely tests out the most promising clone on a disposable Snoke copy. So
Right.
Basically what you see is like an older Snoke clone kind of like lording over this fallen, or this older Palpatine clone lording over an older Snoke, body, obviously testing out his force powers on it. So really fucking cool story, like you mentioned, and execution on his side too is really, really fun. All right, so that brings us to the Haywood Pop Shot breakdown for this week.
I can see the top of it right
So
now, and I think I have an idea.
So you know what it is. So
there it is.
yeah, so this shot that we see from Matt, actually, you know what, Matt, this is your shot. You break it down. What are we seeing? How did you do it? And where did you take this excellent
I swear
image?
we've talked about this.
I feel
one
like we
before.
did too, but I don't remember if it was like, if it came up in organic conversation or if I actually picked this one before. So I was just like, fuck, I'll just pick it again.
Yeah, who cares? Either way, I'm sure no one was listening, or if they're listening now, they'll stop listening, so that's fine, because we're talking about me and not them. So, yeah. This is kind of my platoon shot, right?
Yes.
Where you have it's like a Scarif trooper is kneeling down. He's basically given up. You can tell he's under attack. There's like sand particles all flying up. He's got his 2 hands up. And then behind him are other Scarif shore troopers just kind of ragdolling in midair. I'm almost positive we've done this one before, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through the previous top 5s now and see if I did have it in there. So
there's still some interesting things here, because again, this is a shot that I shared
2018.
When did you say?
Yes.
Okay,
December
I'm pretty
2018.
Sure
yeah.
This was definitely taken summer of 2017.
Wow. So it was over a year it took to.
Oh yeah, a long time. But this is also one that I'm sitting here going like, this is why I used to really enjoy this hobby, because this is a shot where, yes, I was down in Hilton Head, South Carolina at my timeshare in the parking lot, like in the side there that had some sand, and just fucking threw these figures down. The particle effect, my friend, that's all practical, and that is me using my foot to forcibly kick down into the sand to spray the shit up.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask, if you did some sort of like explosion or if you actually just kicked it.
No, that's like me, like kind of like you're like almost stomping on the stand, but you stop your foot in a way to kind of kick it up and get that spray effect going.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing to do because sometimes you get huge clumps. Luckily, I had my remote shutter, so I would just stomp and hold the shutter down, and hopefully I would get a shot eventually. The two guys behind the main subject were on plastic figure stands that I just wiped out.
I just think that like those two guys in particular are positioned so well to make it look like an actual explosion. Like the posing on those was really fucking strong.
Yeah, I'm typically, I shit on myself, but for where I was at in my photography career, I was only about a year and a half in at this point, and just recently had started shooting figures and Funko Pops.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at this shot, I was still predominantly doing Funko Pops, but I was also just now dabbling in the figures. And I do look at them like, honestly, all things considered, for where my skills were at, the techniques I knew, this one turned out okay.
Yeah.
Turned out okay. I mean, there's still plenty wrong with it. I mean, you could argue that there's too much particle going on. But for the pose and the assholes in the background, for me, I would have liked to have a little more spray over where the body on the right is at.
But that just means your explosion's coming from the left side. It's all good.
Right. So.
But no, I mean, okay, so I checked and we haven't used this in a shop breakdown yet, so... Because we only...
I don't know. I feel like we've talked about this before, or like I shared it again for some reason. I don't know.
I think we talked about it. We may have talked about it like... Yeah, I don't know. But we've talked about it before because I remember it specifically, but it wasn't done on this like little featurette thing, so...
Yeah, so this is like really some of my first ever practical effect work with toys because I didn't do shit with my pops. I just set them there and take a picture. It wasn't until figures that I started trying to do stuff with, the toilet drain cleaners, air cans, duster spray, and then, this technique, literally just I don't have anything. I'm at the beach. Oh, there's sand. I'll just kick it or, throw it with my hands. So
yeah. So
I don't know. I'm not going to get too down on myself today.
It looks good.
It's like, hey, why not? I mean, it did turn out okay. Instagram hated it clearly, but that's natural these days. I'm back to being capped to 400 or less likes. But whatever. I hardly have any shots to share now anyways. I got to get my ass editing all the stuff I did outdoors last week thanks to getting that motivation from Ches Picks. So I do probably have about 10 to 15 new shots to edit.
Nice.
And I think they turned out all right. I mean, like I said, outside of fucking Crate Luke being a cocksuck, I really enjoyed it because it was just back to basics, man. I mean, I didn't have to lug out all my dio props, all my lights, all my tripods. I just fucking laid them down, tried to get them in light where I thought it would really make the atmosphere aerosol pop. And there we go. So we'll see what people think about those. Keep an eye out at Haywood Pop. But I think that kind of wraps this iteration of the top 5, right, buddy?
Oh, yes. We are done.
All right, well, you know what time it is then. It's time to shamelessly self-promote the Star Wars Time Show because we need you. Like I said, numbers were a little bit down in March. Clearly still way better than we were in 2019, but that's not how we roll. Nick and I, we strive for greatness. We strive for continued growth and success. And we can only do that by more of you motherfuckers telling people about us dumb motherfuckers, all right? Can you do that? You know what to do. If you meet someone, you meet them on IG, they're in the toy photography community, be like, hey, you like assholes? Not as in like actual balloon knots, don't get yourself smacked or arrested. Be like, do you like listening to assholes? Specifically, two assholes to talk about Star Wars? If so, why don't you check out StarWarsTime.net? Because on StarWarsTime.net, you can get links to their podcasts on any platform that podcasts are played on. We're talking iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Android, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. Need I say more? Right? See, everyone, you're writing this down. This is the pitch. I'm doing it for you. And once they're there, they can also get our other socials. They can learn how to follow us on IG, hashtag Star Wars Time Show, at Star Wars Time Show, get on the top 5, become famous, make millions of dollars, get so many followers. You never know what's going to happen when you link up with the Star Wars Time Show. So, StarWarsTime.net, that's all you need to know. Because there's always time for Star Wars time. And remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you always.